We're a weekly gaming podcast where our mission is simple: to bring to light and discuss topics that have an impact on our gaming hobby, and at the same time, highlighting our diverse gamer community, also remaining dedicated to our origins.
Guardian down.
Join me, Todd the Gator, and my co-host Kingsley Mack as we invite a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the Guardian Down Roundtable. And now, let's get to it. Well, what's up, Guardians? Welcome to episode 366 of the Guardian Down Roundtable. In our podcast, we talk about topics and news surrounding our gaming hobby, all while keeping a focus on our community. We're the podcast that invites a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the table. And we go live every Thursday, 9 p.m., usually. No technical assistance required, hopefully.
Never.
We go 9 p.m. Eastern on my Todd the Gator YouTube and Twitch channels, as far as also our Discord live stage, which is working tonight. Knock on wood. Everybody hold their breath. Once a month, we do invite a new member from our Discord community to pull up and share their story with us. And that is today's episode. We have a new member of our Discord community, and he's going to be jumping in. We're going to talk about gaming and everything about his life and go from there. We are a live video show, though, with an audio version available every Monday morning on all podcast apps and even our website, which is guardiandowncast.com. So one thing, if you guys in live chat tonight, whether you're in Discord, whether you're in Twitch or on YouTube, don't be afraid to speak up. Give us your input on our topics tonight, and we may read them out on the show tonight. So we appreciate you guys that show up live every week. We really do. Well, first, let's introduce my co-host, Mr. Kingsley Mack from the great state of Utah. How you doing, Mike? How you doing this week, man? I've been seeing you've been playing a lot of Black Flag. Every time I look.
That doesn't mean I'm playing it. I just keep the game open because it's just easier than quitting out. You know, single player games, you can just pause them wherever you're doing some action and stuff. Yeah. And I have no real reason to quit it. What's the point of quitting the game? So I just pause it when I'm like doing work for like 4 hours at a time. And then, I can tell it to farm stuff, zombie, good point, in the background. But I haven't really done that too much yet. But we have to remember, people, just because you see a status for someone in Discord doesn't mean they're actively doing that. So I have not been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag as much as it shows that on my status. Don't you worry.
Okay. I forgot.
But, I've been playing it a fair amount.
It's forgot what I play so many live service games. I'm not used to being able to pause. Like even in Arc Raiders, everybody drink. I can't pause the game. Otherwise I'd just sit there and someone would come by and shoot me or loot me or whatever. It's craziness. But anyway, thanks, Mike. Appreciate you being here tonight, man. Yeah,
I want to say one other thing about weather real quick.
Go for it.
So I'm sure you're going to complain about Florida, but it's even hotter some other places. And we finally got the monsoon thing coming through Utah. So we're getting a very rare, more muggy, humid thing out here. And some people are freaking out. I've never had an issue with humidity because I've been to Florida before. I lived in Chicago for a bit. I grew up in Southern California, closer to the coast. So it's not the dry part of California. So like I can do humidity, even the crazy. I've been in Georgia before. I've done the crazy Florida, Georgia humidities, and I actually kind of like humidity. But
it's good for your skin.
Let me tell you, people like I was getting a haircut today, and like it was like a little muggier than normal. Even
flip the camera on. Let's see it.
I'm not even having a camera in front of me right now.
I know.
There's nothing to flip on. But there were some people complaining about how muggy it was and stuff. They're like, should we open the door? I'm like, no, silly. That's going to add even more humidity inside. But yeah, people here in Utah aren't used to the humidity right now from the monsoon stuff going through. And I'll post a picture in the Discord here in a second of the current kind of the temps today and everything. It's been crazy.
Nice.
Because, there was one time last week where we got up to like 80% humidity also. Ooh. But it doesn't stay as consistent as you would have in like an area like Florida. Yeah. It's just like these little crazy patterns that come through. And so people are freaking out here because they're not used to the humidity, but I'm fine with it.
There's actually GCX just started today over in Universal Studios in Orlando here. And I feel for those people, man. I'm glad it's inside because they had to be melting out there. In fact, our buddy Deadpool's in Florida this week, and he went to, I think he said Legoland. Dude, Disney Springs is rough during the day. There's no shade anywhere, man. It's wall-to-wall people. It's crazy. I mean, not only getting hot weather, you're getting hot breath because everybody's breathing in one small spot. But yeah, I got in the pool after work today. It was 95 degrees, 95-degree pool. Yeah, I was like, this is not as refreshing as I was hoping. And we had a cover over it, and it was shady at the time. Anyway, we don't need to go into that. But you know what? Let's introduce our guest co-host tonight. This guest has been a member of our Guardian Down Roundtable and our Patreon community for over 10 months now. He's been very active in our Discord. We've raided with him. He's been active in raids and stuff. Really, really good guy. So I invited him on the show, and tonight we're going to hear his story and his gaming past. So please welcome Miklo. How you been, Miklo?
What's up? Been good.
Good, man. I'm glad you made it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to talking with you.
Glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk more later, but I busted out in honor of Miklo Ultra to drink tonight.
There you go. There you go.
We'll talk more about that later, Todd.
Ron in Washington says it was 100 here. Thankfully, humidity's at 37%. So basically, I've been to Indianapolis in the summer when the humidity was like 30%. It feels like 85. When it's 100 here, it's like 120, Bubba. It's like 120. It is crazy. The humidity just sticks to you. Okay, enough weather, Todd. We're done with the weather reports, man. Okay, let's talk about what's on the show tonight. First, I've got some gaming news updates from an article that was actually submitted from one of our community members, Mr. Zombie Pops. And this is the Gaming Articles for Roundtable channel. If you ever want to put in an article, we might consider talking about it on the show. Next, Kingsley's going to be giving out some tips to optimize gaming on your PC, especially since consoles seem to be under fire right now. And next, we're going to jump in with our guest, Miklo. We're going to discover his gaming past, and we'll get to know more about him. We'll, of course, put him through the paces with our fast fire question and answer segment we call the speed run. Then we'll look and see if Bungie has posted that very last week in Destiny blog. Kingsley, have you seen the blog? I don't think they put another blog out. I don't know if we're going to ever get one.
Why are we thinking they will when they will? We don't need to watch week after week.
I guess so. We're on Bungie watch. Yeah, that's for sure. By the way, I got a really good deal.
Or they may not. They may never.
I got a really good deal on this jersey from the Bungie store. It was like 75% off. I don't know. I don't know why it was so cheap, but.
Also, I think the exact words were we plan to. They didn't say we would for sure put out another.
We plan to. Well, the problem is there's nobody at the studio on the Destiny side to even write one. I wonder if Cosmo's still there. You think Cosmo's still there?
Someone could write one, but there's just probably no reason to, or they don't.
What are you going to say?
Leadership is all different, so they don't know who can approve it right now.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So we may never get another one. I still would like to do one last 12. We'll see. We'll see. I'll still keep a watch out every week, and we'll see. I always leave that spot in my notes because just to check, make sure. But after we talk to Miklo, what my topic is going to be tonight, and this idea actually started when I watched a Legendary Drops video. He tends to drop some very interesting topics around gaming, and then I dove a little deeper and learned more about this topic. So my topic is, why are video games so dang expensive to make these days? And one clue might be because of a trend we're seeing more and more in the gaming industry today. So we'll get into that one later in the show tonight. After which point we do get into our catch-up segment where everyone will share their highlights of their week. I do have one movie review tonight. And at the end of the show, if time allows, we'll answer questions and feedback from our community. And I think we do have some questions from Mr. Miklo tonight, so we'll get to those. And by the way, if you do want to send us a question, you can go to our Discord right now. And if you're not in our Discord, come on. Why are you not in our Discord? It's discord.gg/Guardian Down Roundtable, all one word. And go to the podcast questions channel and enter it there, and we might read it on the show tonight. And of course, you can send us an email or a voicemail through our website, which is guardiandowncast.com. All right, so if everyone's ready, let's roll.
Hello, everyone. Albert Fudd Games here. They say it's hip to be square, but really, it's hip to be Guardian Down Round. Round is the shape, not like square. It's a podcast. I hope you enjoy it. It's changed my life. It'll change yours too.
All right, the first thing on the agenda this week is an article that was posted by one of our community members. That was Mr. Zombie Pops. And he submitted it via our Gaming Articles for Roundtable channel. I kind of saw this coming, but this story really could be a pivotal moment for all of the gaming industry. So I wanted to make sure I at least mentioned it tonight. The article is from It is from Tech Insider, and it says PlayStation Store lawsuit. Sony's been sued for $457 million. Well, heck, that's a drop in the bucket for them. But anyway, Sony's being sued for $400 million, about $457 million American dollars, in the Netherlands over how it prices and locks down sales on the PlayStation Store, and the timing looks brutal for the company. The Dutch foundation, and I looked this up, Stichting Massage and Consument, I give up. That's the name of the foundation that's suing them. But they filed a case on behalf of roughly 1.7 million PlayStation owners in the Netherlands, arguing that Sony's 30% cut on every digital sale amounts to an abuse of a dominant marketing position. Judges at the District Court of Middle Netherland heard opening arguments on June 29th, that's a few days ago, or about a month ago, just 4 weeks after Sony confirmed it'll end the physical PlayStation disc production by January 2028. Consumer advocates call the timing no coincidence. Once discs disappear, they argue nothing stops Sony from setting whatever price it wants on every game sold through its store. The case, nicknamed the Fair PlayStation lawsuit, rests on a simple complaint. Sony charges a 30% commission on nearly every digital transaction that runs through the PlayStation Store and includes DLC. And its publisher contracts block any rival storefront from operating on PlayStation hardware. So combined, the foundation argues that these two facts let Sony set final retail prices without any competitive check. And I also actually was doing a little bit research on this, and they actually A/B test their pricing. I don't know if you guys knew that. Depending on the person and where they're from, what area and region they're from, they'll A/B price stuff to see who buys more of a certain game or product, and then they can flip the script when they need to. It's crazy stuff, man. The numbers back up the frustration. A 2025 analysis of flat panel HDs found Dutch consumers pay 47% more on average for digital PlayStation games than for physical copies of the same titles, despite digital distribution carrying far lower overhead than manufacturing and shipping disc. Consumer groups have started calling that gap the Sony tax. The foundation, I'm not going to try to say it again, says the harm traces back to November of 2013, when Sony's current closed store model took shape, and puts total damage to Dutch consumers about or around 400 million marks, Dutch marks. I don't know. What's the currency in Netherlands? I have no clue. The foundation filed the underlying PlayStation Store lawsuit in June of 2025, with the first substantive hearing followed about a year later, June of 29th of this year, which I just mentioned. And according to the foundation's own case filing, it now ranks among the largest active consumer claims against any part of Sony's gaming business anywhere in the world. Now, there's also other lawsuits going on right now. Mexico is now suing Sony for the same price fixing and monopoly pricing. And there's actually a UK precedent right now. A multi-billion pound warning shot is the title of this. And it says the Dutch case did not emerge from nowhere. A nearly identical fight has been working through UK since the courts in 2022, when consumer advocate Alex Neil filed a claim against Sony Interactive Entertainment valued up to £5 billion. The UK Competition Appeal Tribunal granted a collective proceedings order on November 21st of 23, certifying the case to proceed according to the tribunal's official notice on behalf of roughly 8.9 million UK PlayStation customers who bought digital games or DLC between August of 2016 and August 19th of 2022. The UK trial finally opened in London on March 10th of this year, with BBC News reporting that claims value close to £2 billion, or roughly $2.7 billion. Proceedings ran for about 2 months and wrapped up around May of this year. Per the game business, no verdict has been publicly reported by mid-July, but the trial itself has already forced Sony to defend its PlayStation Store commission structure in open court, testimony that Dutch lawyers have leaned on directly. So I just want to show you or list a history, actually, of what are the other platforms out there charge. And Kingsley, you'll probably know this, but Sony PlayStation Store is 30% on everything. Valve Steam charges 30%, or 25% over $10 million or 20% over $50 million. But it's an open PC platform. Rival stores are permitted to get in there with codes and, like Green Man Gaming and things like that. The Epic Game Store is a flat 12%. Microsoft Store, 30%. Microsoft Store PC games, 12%. The Apple Store Global is 30%. The Apple Store for the EU in DMA terms as low as 17%, and the Google Play Store is at 15%. So I guess what I'm getting at is if this case goes forward and there is a judgment, it is going to set a precedent. And I think a lot of companies, a lot of class action suits are going to follow here. And Sony may need to backtrack. I mean, what do you think, Kingsley? You think this is going to make any difference at all?
Oh, you're totally reading way too much into this.
All right.
It's not going to set a precedence because this is not the first lawsuit that's happened by any means. The Apple-Google one with Epic already happened.
Yeah.
And so if anything's going to set a precedence, that one set the precedence. And what happened there was they did not win saying that they had to charge a lower fee than the 30%. But what they did win was that specific countries like the EU could say like, okay, we can't force you to charge a lesser percentage, but we can say that you have to have a competing store in another country. So, but that's totally different. So there's no price fixing going on here. People can still, if you're a third-party developer, you can still list whatever price you want for your game in the Sony store.
Yeah.
So what Apple did was they let, just in the EU, you can't do this in the US or other places.
Right.
You can load a third-party app store on your phone.
Wow.
Now, people are realizing that wasn't a good play in the long run because the third-party app stores are horrendous. They full of bugs, they full of viruses, malware, stuff like that.
That's not good.
So consumers aren't really getting anything better. But the thing here, this has nothing to do with discs. It's just a coincidence. This is about the percentages.
Right.
And also, who cares that it's just going after Sony? Microsoft will eventually go after them too with the 30%, and they already went over after Apple and Google. The bigger point here is the percentages and what's going to happen. So far, the precedence is percentages aren't lowering mandatorily,
right?
But the companies are making third-party app stores in certain countries, and it's going to be a big mess. Can you imagine, like,
oh my God, per country?
In some areas, if there's a third-party app store on the PlayStation, it sounds fine, sounds good. Like, sure, like in that small area,
right,
some developers can make a little more money, and consumers might be able to get some extra games that you couldn't get other places. But it's going to be like the Wild West. Also, it'll be like all this junk in the store. You won't know what's legit things, what's the real things, and stuff like that. So I don't know what the answer is. The best answer is all the companies maybe voluntarily take less than 30% just to kind of be nice and to get around these lawsuits. But so far, most of these big companies are still making out. They're not losing these really. They're keeping 30% most places, and a couple other countries here and there, they'll have alternative app stores.
Yeah, and I don't know if mandatory competing stores being allowed to be, used for codes or whatever to play on PlayStation. PlayStation would probably have the authority to determine what store that would be, and it can just pick the crummiest store out there that people don't trust, and then it's a moot point, right?
No, actually, the law, at least with the Apple precedents, when we're talking about precedents, is they couldn't pick the other stores.
Okay, that's good.
So any app store could load on. That's why, again,
gotcha.
It's a mess. Like there's a bunch of junk too, because then the whole market's open for like fake app stores to get loaded. Like the consumer can pick whatever app store they want to load on the EU phones. So it's just a huge mess.
You got an opinion, Miklo?
Oh no, it's just
just listening. I got you. Yeah, like I said, it's an interesting story because I figured I'd mention it tonight because of everything swirling around the console market right now. I don't know, man. The way things are going, I'm wondering if there's going to be another console. I know there'll probably be at least one more gen.
They already announced there is.
It's already in the works, but
yeah,
we'll have to see where the sales fall, especially if the software prices continue to be crazy, man. But yeah, it's it is what it is, I guess. Thanks, Zombie Pop, for submitting that article. Any last words before we move on?
I mean, I think it'd be good for them, these companies. I already said it, but they should voluntarily bring some of the prices down. I said this a long time ago. This isn't new news. We're like, Apple was getting in trouble for having 30%. I'm like, but the game industry's been like that also. Why are they just going after Apple? Like Microsoft and Sony also do 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would just be nice just to help the developers, if anything, 15% sounds good to me. You know what I mean? 15%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a standard markup on anything, 20%, 15%, things like that,
And the fact that everything's gone digital now, they make even more margin than if they had to produce a disc in a box and shipping costs.
But it's already been that way because of
it is.
80% of people already doing digital. So it's not really anything new there either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I think they said like 10% of people there were of games that sold 10% of their sales on physical disc. I think they said there were like 7 games last year on all the entire year that sold that 10% mark via physical games. So yeah, I mean, you mentioned that, that Bill Gates, that's the way he distributed Windows is on disk because they couldn't rely on internet to download it back in those days. But times have definitely changed, man. It's definitely different.
Also, again, the change.org petition for supposedly, and that's why I don't like the word like everyone or people up in arms because it's not true that a majority of people are upset about this disc thing. If so, why is the petition still have less signatures than the people that want Destiny 3 has more signatures?
Yeah, Destiny 3 hit just hit over.
Less people that care about physical discs on the petition than there are people that want Destiny 3.
Just hit officially over 400,000 signatures wanting a Destiny 3. Still don't think it'll happen. I don't know. I think
no. I'm not saying either of these will happen, but I'm just making a funny point about how many people are signing these petitions.
I really think Sony is going to be smart here. I think what they're going to do. I think there's some Destiny fatigue right now, and I think they know it. And I think they're going to just sit on it for a while, and then decide finally to put the band back together, right, and make a new Destiny or a new Bungie game. Some kind of game. I can't
just
imagine.
Because you feel like Destiny fatigue doesn't mean most people felt that way.
I mean, the
people
numbers
wanted
are still
it to
good.
keep going.
Yeah,
people wanted it to keep going. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that cannot be the reason why they stopped it. Is because the reason they stopped it was money. We know that.
It's always money. Always comes down to money, right?
Always money.
Always rely on that part.
Not the fatigue. Or else, we have a pretty good petition, 400K of people wanting Destiny 3, and that's only people that know about the petition too.
That's true. And streamers are trying to spread the word. But Ron says the currency in the Netherlands is the euro, of course, European Union. That makes perfect sense, Ron. Thank you for that. Okay, well, let's move on. Kingsley's up next with some tips for PC gaming, since a lot of people might be heading that direction soon. Be right back.
And now a news bulletin from our Patreon sponsors. In today's economy, gas is high, joy is low. But the Guardian Roundtable and the Guardian Downcast is on the rise. You're listening to Guardian Roundtable.
All right. We're going to turn to Mr. Kingsley Mack next, where he's going to give us some tips when gaming on your PC to get the best experience. Mike, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, this is just actually a topic that I had in the back of my mind for a while. No particular reason why I'm talking about it now. Just I didn't have other interesting things I wanted to bring up this week. But, because if you have a PC or considering building one or whatever, or if you just want to be in the know, there are some basic things you can do to make sure you have a good experience. And it's also the reason why I wanted to talk about this too, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there too. Like, PCs are a pain, this and that and this and that. But usually when I see them being a pain, it's because of what the person did. They try to overload them with stuff, or they try to use it for a lot of different things. PCs just on their own are not a pain if you follow some simple rules. So and I know not everyone can do this, but I'm not giving like super advanced tips or things like that. I have a couple medium techie things at the end, but these are just really high level things and maybe like duh to some people, but other people are like, yeah, I really should consider this. First of all, really you should consider, if you want to get a gaming PC, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get it mostly just for that. Now I get it. They're more expensive. So everyone wants to like, well, I'm going to buy it, but then I'm making it more worth it in my mind because I'm going to use it for this. I'm going to use it for that. I'm going to use it for all my video editing. I'm going to use it for like browsing weird sites on the internet. I'm going to use it for, You know what I mean? The more things you do on it, you're asking for trouble. The same thing would happen to a PlayStation. If you could do all those things and you actually did all those things, you would have problems there too. So try to be fair and think about those things. And if you can at all, only use the PC for gaming only. Don't do other things on it. So that's step one. Step two, or point number two, is even when you do game, if you have a few other things going, like, even obviously there's going to be times even on my gaming PC, I have to open a browser to like look for updates or things like that or whatever. And it may seem obvious, but try to quit out of things before you game, right? Mm-hmm. That could even mean like Discord. Now, if you do your audio through your same PC, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to like not do Discord on your computer, but if you have another way to do Discord, like a laptop, a phone or something, but even if you have it open, turn off the notifications if you can, because all those little pop-ups, they don't take a lot of processing and RAM, but they can cause little micro stutters in your games. And I know that Discord wants to provide all these things that say, oh, so-and-so logged in or this or that, or all these little notifications, but it's not just Discord. A lot of apps will have notifications, and the more of these apps that you allow to have notifications, things will always be popping up and causing little micro stutters on your computer.
It adds up.
Yep. Another tip is run all your updates. You've heard Todd on the show complain that updates broke things, but they don't usually. 99% of the time, you want to run updates because they fix things. You're forced to run your updates on your PlayStation and your Xbox.
Yeah,
well, for good reason. Mm-hmm. You need to run your updates on your PC too. And that means your Windows updates and your graphic driver updates. Those are the most important. But thank you, Zombie. Maybe I'll give that tip too. But run your updates, and they're good to do. Don't just like put it off. And another reason why it's good to run your updates is it kind of forces you to restart your computer. If you aren't running your updates or doing anything, try to restart your computer once a week or so. Just set it as a schedule. You don't have to do it that often, but that's the best way to kind of remember, on a Friday night or whatever, before you go into bed, restart your computer, because it clears things out and can help. But definitely run your updates. And for Windows, there's usually weekly updates. They don't always have a restart though, but run them. Don't be scared of them.
I had a question.
Yeah. You can break it anytime, guys.
Yeah. Miklo, that goes for you too, man. Is there a manager you can install on your computer that will do that for you, like drivers and Windows, all that? Windows always lets me know because that's my main interface. But like drivers,
I mean, if there was, remember what I said? You shouldn't be loading extra stuff on your computer.
Okay. I just wondered.
Look, it's easy. Yeah. Windows will pop up and tell you, and your graphic driver probably will too. But even if not, just open it. Those are the two main. Yeah. There's other updates you can run, but I'm just keeping this simple. The most important things are Windows and the graphics. So just open your NVIDIA or your Radeon thing once a month, once a week, check for updates. But they will probably set it on auto update. Most of them try to push you that way. If you ever told it no, change that back to auto, and then you'll get the pop-up for those things, which are good to get pop-ups for when there are updates.
Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Update video card. Just kidding.
All right.
Some of you knew thought I was going to do that. I know you did. All right, go ahead.
Alt F4 it.
No.
Control-delete.
Control-delete. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things you can do. Now, some people will get crazy and go far the other way, which I don't recommend either. And they think this was maybe more of a thing in the 90s, early 2000s, where there wasn't a lot of RAM for computers and stuff and storage. So people would try to like pare down their normal version of Windows and like remove components and stuff. I don't recommend that either. It used to be said that like, oh, well, your Windows will be more optimized if you remove all these components, but that is asking for trouble. Again, you want to go with like a base configuration. You'll have the most success. If you add a lot of stuff, you're going to have problems. If you remove a lot of stuff, you're going to have problems. So just don't fuss with a lot of things. Don't go down the Reddit rabbit holes of like, unless you really know what you're doing, you like to geek out and reinstall your system. If you make things messed up, don't remove a bunch of Windows components just because you think it's going to help with stuff.
Go to your Windows
device. If you're having RAM issues, you probably need more RAM.
If you go to your Windows device manager, you'll find out how much works in the background. It adds up, man. It adds up. It's a lot.
Okay, but don't go there and then just worry about it either. You don't need to go to your Windows manager.
No.
And then again, you might start worrying about things and then wanting to remove things or stuff like that. So, I mean, that does bring up another point. This isn't a PC build guide, but if you're looking to get a new computer, really try to go for 32 gigs of RAM. This has been the recommendation for a few years now. I understand RAM's very expensive right now, so it's hard to say. 16 would be the minimum, but I highly recommend 32. But maybe I can get a PC build video or article another time.
Yeah. Gotcha.
A couple more things here. These are more the medium advanced tips. Is there are a couple things you can do in Windows. You don't have to, but you can do to give some extra performance. So, you guys can DM me. Maybe I'll post in the Discord and the tech channel at some point. You don't have to remember all these things, but you can. Windows has a setting called game mode that you want to turn on. Basically, this helps with minimizing some of these background apps, like I was mentioning. You should still look for not having a lot of things open and turn off a bunch of notifications, but you can also go to Windows settings, gaming, and then game mode and turn that to on. So think about that. And then one other thing is go into Windows setting and turn on hardware accelerated GPU scheduling.
Oh.
That's under settings, system, display, graphics, and then turn on hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. You can rewind if I said it too fast, or you can just ask me.
That I have not done. Okay.
These aren't the most important things, but they're little tips that can give you an extra little
learn something every day,
oof, here and there. Yeah. And other than that, have fun. I mean, having a PC doesn't have to be a complicated or scary thing. And I just wanted to provide some basic tips that I think, if you're getting my point of what I'm laying down, is a lot of these things are more on the fault of people being people rather than the complexity of what a Windows PC is. And if you follow some of these tips, you'll have a better experience. And one last thing I did kind of want to mention, and this can be important for consoles also, but I still run into people that aren't using Ethernet for their gaming rigs, right? Console or PC. I really think running Ethernet is semi-required to have a good experience. Yeah, you can run like a single-player game over Wi-Fi or whatever, but don't count on Wi-Fi no matter how good the marketing says this is really good Wi-Fi, 1 billion speed. It's not about the speed. So many other things can go wrong, and you will not have a reliable connection for live service games unless you're running on Ethernet. Even if you have to run a janky Ethernet cord from a switch on your floor to your computer from another room, even if that's a temporary setup, that's a million times better than having Wi-Fi. So do whatever you can to try to get Ethernet to your computer.
We've all had that guy in a raid that all of a sudden his voice starts cutting out and he starts glitching over the place. And he says, my wife just put on Netflix. So Netflix will command a strong part of your internet, like off the bat. And it can really be it can suck a lot of bandwidth. That's for sure.
Well, yeah.
Especially if you're watching in 4K.
That,
yeah.
I that's a separate point. If you want to tip around that, you go into your router and you set up quality of service so that Netflix can only take so much. That's true. Then your computer can take the rest. But this is where it goes to your total speed can matter. If you have a reliable internet connection and you have a high speed, then people being on Netflix won't cause any issues.
Yeah, that's true. I like it. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man. I know we tried to do that last week and we had to take the stream down. Discord was not being agreeable last week. So I appreciate you bringing that back this week, man. Appreciate it. All right. Let's talk to Miklo next. Hey, Guardians, even though we're now the new Guardian Down Roundtable, all the ways you can contact us are the same. Just go to guardiandowncast.com where you can email us, write us a review, send us a voicemail that we might air on the show, by the way, and even listen to past episodes where you can also search for a particular guest of the show. You know, I use this every week to find past episodes that our guest roundtablers are from, so you can go back and hear them and hear their story. guardiandowncast.com. All right, next we talk to our new member this is his first time on the show, and he's gamed a lot with us over the 10 months he's been here. He's been very active, really cool dude. And let me start by asking this, Miklo, where are you from, man? Where are you talking from right now? Where's this podcast find you?
Currently in San Antonio, Texas, but originally I'm from Southern California in Anaheim.
Okay. I've been to Anaheim. That's a nice area, man.
Hell yeah.
God, it's too perfect. I look at Anaheim and all these green lawns and beautiful buildings, and I look out beyond the backyard. I'm like, it's all like dry hills and desert. And I'm like, what is going on here, man? This isn't like, I'm used to Florida where it's like, just acres and acres of oak trees and green. And I was not prepared, but it is a beautiful city, man. That's for sure. So San Antonio is where my brother was born. Yeah. I lived there briefly many, many, many years ago. I think my dad was in the military and got transferred there. So well, let me ask you this. What do you do for a living, sir?
I work for one of the county hospitals.
Oh.
In San Antonio.
What position do you hold there? I mean, what are your duties at the hospital?
Basically I do like procurement.
Okay.
So like all like the supplies and like $5 meds.
Okay.
For the inpatient side.
Very nice. Oh, you have to make sure everybody's stocked up. All those drawers we see in the pit, there's someone has to order all that stuff, right? All those medicine drawers. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. That's what we order.
I got you, man.
All that.
How did you find Destiny, by the way? I know have you played Destiny 1 and 2 or just 2?
No, I didn't get to play D1, mostly D2, but my brother got me into D2. And I was on and off. And then like I think it's the end of Witch Queen was when I really hit it hard.
Okay. Is your brother in their community?
Yeah.
What's his name?
My brother El Spicy, I think it's on here.
Okay, give him a shout out. Yeah. Man. I just want to give him a shout out. But speaking of that, if they remastered Destiny 1 for PC or for high-end consoles, would you play it?
Absolutely.
Nice, man. I'd love to. I hope Bungie decides to do that.
Yeah, it's one thing kind of regretted is not like fully getting into D1 and the first half of D2.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that will say the story in D1 is almost better than D2, especially when you go through the Taken King part. And I agree with that every time I rerun it. Max agrees with that. Kind of he's played Destiny 1 recently. Astor Cross was going through Destiny 1. He's like, man, I love this. It's one of the best storylines ever.
Taken King was good.
That was basically the high point where they won all sorts of awards and stuff.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, for sure.
People would be interested. It wouldn't just be a Remember Berry thing. There would be, first of all, plenty of people that never got to experience it because maybe they didn't have a console or they didn't play it back then.
Yeah.
And then, or don't have a console now, so it's not worth buying it, even though you could if you had a console now.
Right.
And then, I don't know that they would do quality of life things, because if they did, it would almost be like a D2. But even if they just updated the graphics some, that'd be pretty cool.
At 30 frames, you can definitely feel the difference. 1080 30 is just so much different than a 4K 60 or a 1080 120, It's much crisper. And, like what they've done with your game, Kingsley, with Black Flag. I mean, it's just like it's a totally more enjoyable experience, right? Because the graphics have been improved and everything. Yeah.
So, they did quality of life things on this game too.
But, they went further.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if they did.
Yeah, my brother is playing that also currently.
Oh yeah, is he liking it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's rocking it.
Nice. Are you married? Have any kids, Miklo?
Nah, not married, no kids. Nah.
Okay. Free agent. I like it. What is your favorite NPC?
Wait, I'm gonna tape that and send that to your wife.
Blackmail.
You said you like it.
Blackmail's coming. What is your favorite NPC in the game? If you were to pick one, could be in the tower, could be in all the worlds, wherever in Destiny.
I'd say Zavala is my favorite NPC.
So you're a Titan main.
Yes, I converted from a Warlock.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's too bad.
Originally, I started as a Warlock, and my brother's like, feel the power of the punch.
So you're the hammer, and every NPC is a nail. I get it. Whereas Warlocks are more like a Swiss Army knife. We can just kind of roll with the times. Yeah. Are you a
book nerd?
Are you a solo player, or do you like to play with groups?
I like to play with groups.
Okay.
I like to play with groups. I do play solo just, to get the challenges done, but I prefer groups.
I might get a little deep on you here, but what is your absolute earliest, most vivid game memory? I mean, who was there? What was on the screen? And what did it smell like in the room?
Oh, shit, man.
The smell part.
I just threw that in there. I just threw it in there.
I want to say it was when Nintendo first came out with their console, the Nintendo. I think it was Super Mario.
Yeah. The regular Nintendo. The Nintendo.
Yeah, the regular one, not
NES,
the Super one.
The NES. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it was a buddy of mine. I think his name was Barney and that's who I was playing with.
What was your game? What game are you thinking of right now? Super Mario?
Yeah, it was Mario, one of the Mario games.
Okay.
It smelled like.
It was in the living room. He was fine. It wasn't in the bedroom. It was in the living room, right? Okay. It was
Coca-Cola and pizza.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
There you go.
I've been there.
There you go.
I've been there. What was the first game that made you realize that it wasn't just a toy, but a massive part of your life for, adults to play? What was the first game where you kind of realized that it's not a kid's toy anymore? I
don't know. I've been gaming since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I just really played through all the consoles when they came out.
Okay.
Gaming has just been a part of my life since growing up.
Okay. Have you ever played like co-op or split screen games?
Both. Usually we play split screen with my brother growing up as well.
You remember what games?
We did there were some Call of Duties, Gears of War games, Super Smash Brothers.
I remember the campaign runs. Those are fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. What is your ultimate couch co-op or split screen memory? I mean, who was next? I guess it was your brother next to you, and you said Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, I think mostly would have to be Super Smash Brothers. Honestly, this is the ultimate couch co-op. But playing with him and like my friends, seeing who can be the number one.
I got you, man. Yeah. Leaderboards were very important back in the day. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm a true gamer test here. Did you ever stand in a physical line for a midnight release of a game?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Okay. It's all right. I won't judge you. No, I'm just kidding with you, man. That's I don't know. That's not real old school. I mean,
it's old school.
It was a thing, usually
I've done it, and I didn't enjoy it. So I'm glad that's
what was your first midnight release, Kingsley?
Well, first of all, too, they don't always come out at midnight. I remember a game coming out at noon once, or it was like 10 a.m. actually when the store opened.
Oh.
But I remember the one I remember the most was Diablo 2, standing in line for that. It was the year 2000, I believe, and I was living in Provo, Utah. And it was a Best Buy or a CompUSA. And I remember it was during the day. It wasn't at midnight. I mean, maybe I went the next day. I don't know, but there was a line.
Okay.
And I seem to remember the doors opening and then going in and getting it. But there wasn't like that long of a line. But still, like, those aren't good memories for me. I prefer not waiting in line.
Are you kidding me? No, my first, I think I have to go to 2004. So when my son got me into Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, it's when he got me into shooter games. I mean the online multiplayer shooting games. And I remember he was so excited because we went up and I think what was the one right after Modern Warfare? I think it was it Black Ops? Original Black Ops? Anyway, he was so excited and, he was bragging to his friends that his dad brought him up at midnight because that was really late for a kid his age, And I think he was like 7 or 8 years old. So I know maybe he's a little older than that, but my favorite midnight release was Destiny 1 because I saw it a year earlier on it's not the Game Awards. It was something else. It was another award show. My mind's mush. But anyway, I remember seeing the preview a year before and I was so pissed I had to wait a whole year for Destiny to come out. And when I did, E3, thank you. Yes, 2013, E3 2013. And I remember my son wasn't as crazy about Destiny as he was for Call of Duty. By that time in 2014, he was into World of Warcraft and RuneScape and those games that he played. And he had an Xbox 360, I think, at the time. And my God, I drug him there. I said, no. You're waiting in line with me to go get Destiny, man. And I remember they gave you a poster and everything. Oh, it's so cool, man. Anyways, sorry. A little reminiscent there.
He's scarred for life now.
No, he can just, there's no midnight releases anymore. You just buy the game online. It's that easy.
Yep.
I would have just bought Destiny 1 digitally. I know it came out digitally also.
I remember
once they started doing digital, I was like, yes. I was like, this is so much better.
I remember whenever we bought Atari games when I was a little kid and I couldn't drive myself, I remember they had these thick, like lore-filled game manuals that you could pull out and actually read everything about the game, and it showed you how to play and everything. I used to do that on the way home when my parents would, pick the game up for me. Anything like that come to mind in your past, like, blowing on cartridges or renting games at Blockbuster, or any gaming memories like that with little rituals like that?
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
You might not be as old as us, Todd.
Okay. All right. I'm picking up on that. All right.
I was a 90s kid.
I treat everyone like they're 30 years old. Anyway, those are good times. We've lost our innocence in gaming these days. How have your gaming tastes changed now that your free time is more limited, or as you get older and have jobs and stuff? I mean, have your gaming tastes changed from when you were younger, or do you still like older games? Or
I don't think they've changed much.
Right.
Basically been playing the FPSs, the story games most of the time.
Okay.
What are some of your favorite games to play right now?
Good question.
It still would be D2, Cyberpunk, Helldivers.
What is
Call of Duty?
What is it about Cyberpunk? Because I'm just now jumping back in. I
picked story.
I picked the Nomad this time, and I'm like in a totally different area than I picked when I was a corpo. I'm like, what? Where? I don't remember any of this when I played the game. It's like they start you in a totally different area.
Called an RPG. You have different options.
Yeah, RPG. Yeah.
What is it about? I mean, now that they've improved the game so much, what is it about Cyberpunk you like?
I just really love how heavy the dialogue is.
Okay, and it's pretty rich, huh?
It's rich dialogue. It's got good music. It's got good action.
Okay,
it just looks so prime.
I love that you threw that in there.
Another problem you may have as you start getting older and your money's more limited is you have to decide, that old gaming problem when you become an adult is, figuring out what game. Yeah, not enough time to play them all, right? Is that in your case? Does that work, or you pretty much play whatever?
No, well, I stick to the core games that I play, and then I'll try to make some time to play some a new game every now and then.
Okay. Have you ever reached a point in a new game where you think that the graphics will ever get better than this? I know it's a little deep.
No, I think the pinnacle for currently, I think, would be
Cyberpunk. Yeah, man. I got to admit, man, the graphics have really been improved in that game.
Yeah. That game got juiced.
It did, man. It did. I mean, my God, I remember they were throwing so many updates for that game, and I would just like, yeah, download it, but I'm not playing it right now. I only play Destiny. When we were kids, gaming was often seen as something kids play, that you eventually grow out of, but it's become like a multi-billion-dollar industry now where it's eclipsed regular entertainment combined. Was there a time where you thought that playing games as an adult was completely normal?
Yeah. I think it's a pretty normal thing to do, to play games. I mean,
so mainstream. I mean, gaming has just come so far, man. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. From pixelated to polygons to what it is now, 3D rendering.
What role playing? I mean, if you ever plan to have kids, what is the one game from your childhood you feel like is a must play for them?
Super Smash Brothers, I would say.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Donkey Kong.
Oh man, don't get me started on Donkey Kong. I think I made the 7-Eleven, that local 7-Eleven, like a millionaire. All the money I put in that damn game. Holy crap, man! All right, what's a hobby, interest, or past life of yours that has absolutely nothing to do with gaming, but would make your online friends say, "Wait, you do that?" Or let me phrase it this way: if we looked at your search history on your bookshelf right now, what's one obsession we'd find that would completely surprise the community?
Not too sure how. I really look into a lot of Warhammer stuff.
Okay. You did you do the figurines?
I mean, not yet. I do have some like combat patrols to do to like work and paint, but I collect a lot of the books.
Oh, you read the novels? The Warhammer?
Yeah, I read the novels. I'm like hardcore into like the lore and the books, and I've been buying
I don't know
a bunch of them.
I'm missing out on Warhammer. I have so much I miss there. I think Warhammer was that gap when I had kids where I didn't game for several years. I don't know how I missed the boat on that, but it was never a part of my life, man. It was more of a PC game, I think, back then. Warhammer was a very hardcore PC game, but
yeah, like it was Dawn of War, I think.
Oh, Dawn of War. Okay, yeah. See, that's the thing, man. I can't go back because I'm spoiled now. I mean, Destiny's spoiled me. It's totally spoiled me. What is one piece of advice you'd put on a sticky note on your monitor to keep you grounded when both the game and real life kind of get chaotic? And you can use a virtual sticky note too, not like a sticky note like I have, like this.
And pretty much being kind to each other and be respectful, because not everybody knows everything, and shit happens.
Yeah, man.
You can't sweat the small stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a little snippet video from Matthew McConaughey today on YouTube. I was having a bad morning. Someone put a really shitty comment on YouTube, and I don't know why it bugs me, but I'm like, who the hell does this guy think he is? And it just put me in a funk, and I just realized I was just agitated at everyone. I was like, this one piece of shit that put this comment on YouTube has totally spread hate into my life, and I've spread it to other people, and I had to make amends today for that. But he said, you know what? There's only one thing that my grandfather told me that I need to remember. And I think this is an excerpt from his book. He says, one day you're going to die. And my wife says, oh, that's so freaking sappy. But it really gets right to the meat of it, doesn't it? It doesn't matter how chaotic your life is or how much stress you're going through. Hey, man, one day you're going to die. When you think of it that way, it just kind of nips it all in the bud, doesn't it? Anyway, I thought I'd spread that positivity today from all the negativity that was generated from that. But dude, I have to ask you this. What's up with that gamer tag, Miklo?
Oh, Miklo? It's really nothing too complicated. It stems from back in high school, a buddy of mine, when I had moved out here, and we were talking, and like, he was just asking me like my background and whatnot. Are you familiar with the movie like Blood In, Blood Out?
Say it again.
Are you familiar with the movie with like it's called Blood In, Blood Out?
No, I'm not.
Now, well, there's a character in the movie, and his name is Miklo.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and like he's kind of like he's the one that like tries to do like big things to like fit in with the group. And that's how it basically came about.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, and I'll add on right now, since we're talking about gamer tag. Funny story in the community that some people know and other people don't, but it goes to what I was saying earlier is we've raided with you before and had good times. And for some reason, good old Sin in the group.
Oh, yeah.
He saw your name. He started calling you Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, Michelob.
That's where that comes from. I'm like, this isn't anything about a beer.
It's similar-ish to Michelob. And he just probably was thinking of the word Michelob. And then, of course, Ultra, just because whatever. That's the best Michelob is Michelob Ultra. I don't know.
Yeah, Michelob Ultra.
You're making
so
the greatest superior light beer
to add on to. I mean, I'm drinking one in honor of your other name tonight, but doesn't have to be that. But do you have a favorite drink and or dessert?
Yes. You may be judged.
Well, so my favorite beer is a Pacifico beer.
Pacifico.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that beer. Is that a California?
Not just California.
I don't remember seeing that beer. I don't remember seeing Pacifico, like the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
It's in a yellow box.
I see it here in Utah also.
Deadpool, you seen these beers? Pacifico?
Oh my gosh. I bet you could find it at a gas station, probably.
What?
For
seriously?
Sure.
I swear to God, I've never heard of this beer.
You just probably thought it was like a weird beer.
I look at all the beers at the grocery store. I had never seen Pacifico.
It's a good Mexican lager.
DC, really? Base window? Okay. I'm going to go.
I just said, Todd, I bet you could find it in your area.
Okay. I'm going to go on a search this weekend. I'm going to the grocery tomorrow. That is my mission. I'll take a picture of it if I see it.
All right. And for dessert, I love all kinds of sweet things, but a good apple pie with some whipped cream goes a long way.
Apple pie, man. You and my wife both. The little slice ice cream next to it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tear that up.
Now, wait a minute. Do you like the regular old fashioned or do you like the little crumb on the top?
Both.
They are both good. They are both good. That's true.
I don't discriminate.
What? Maximo, it's at Walmart? I don't know what I'm missing here, man. I don't know what I'm missing. We're in the upside down right now. I don't know why I've never heard of this beer. Okay. Okay.
Because you only look for your blue moon. That's why.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Jeez, man. I'm done. One more question. What role does gaming play in your life now compared to when you were 15? Is it about competition or challenge, or has it become more of a de-stressing tool after a long day at work?
It's kind of all three, honestly.
Okay.
Certain days, play some I'll play some Cyberpunk, to ease the mind. And when I'm playing with my buddies, we usually play, Call of Duty or do ranked play.
Okay.
And all that.
Is your brother older or younger than you?
He's younger. We're 6 years apart. But if you were to look at us side by side, you would think we're twins.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a beard?
Big beard.
You have a beard?
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
We both have long hair.
I'm trying to picture you. I wish you brought your camera tonight. I'm trying to picture that, but it's okay.
You guys have put a picture in the Discord before, right? In the left channel, I believe, you and your brother.
I think so, yeah. I'll see if he wants to do a picture and we'll put it on the Discord.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Berserker tagged along this morning to put apple pies in the weekly shopping trolley. Holy crap, man. Yeah, I can't. No, I can't. We have, my wife bought one of these. Shit, I don't remember the brand of it. It's like Mrs. something. And we had it in the freezer forever. I'm like, are we ever going to eat this damn thing? And we put it out. Man, I had like a sugar coma all night after eating that damn thing. It's just loaded with sugar. But damn, it was good. It was good, man. Well, Miklo, appreciate you sharing your life with us tonight, man. But you're not out of the woods yet. You're not out of the woods yet.
Welcome to GDR, the Guardian Down Roundtable. I guess my map is wrong. I was told to go around this back alley, but I'm in this nice, clean, bright, distant future. I have no idea where I'm at. Maybe look at this door. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. You're listening to GDR.
This segment is called the Speed Run. I've handpicked 25 questions from a pool of over 1,000 plus submitted by our community all these years. And they're quick, simple questions, simple answers, just to get to know you a little bit deeper. No time limits, no contests or any of that. So just quick questions and answers. So if you're ready, Miklo, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's begin. What is one of your favorite music artists?
Motionless in White.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Good man. What is one of your favorite movies?
Ooh, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that's funny. If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Either Kevin Costner or Woody Harrelson.
Oh, man. I pick Woody on that one. What do you always need to bring with you when you leave the house?
Phone, key.
Okay. Pulse, hand cannon, scout, or auto rifle?
Ooh, fudge. Hand cannon.
Typical Titan. If you could live anywhere...
Am I supposed to answer all these two just like you are?
No, I'm not answering them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe we need to do speed runs down the road pretty soon here, Kingsley, just to give everybody an update. I got you. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, that'd be in Scotland.
Okay. We have a question about that later. What would be your ideal career or job?
Ooh. I'm not sure.
Okay, still looking. Still trying to figure it out. I get it. I've been there. What's the worst job you've ever had?
I would have to be an unloader at Walmart.
Okay. The guy that unloads the semi-trucks?
Yeah, dude. I did that for 2 years.
McMaximo's buddy. McMaximo's like, yeah, there it is. Get it. Meg Maximo's a driver for Walmart. The reason I say that. Okay. Some of the people in the Discord get that. Describe yourself in one word.
Kind.
What's the best sandwich?
Ooh. The Monte Cristo.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't expect that. Sweet or salty, and what is your favorite snack based on that answer?
Sweet or salty? I would have to go with salty, and it would have to be Lay's barbecue chips.
Okay. If you had time, what would you do with it? If you had more time, what would you do with it? Rephrase that.
Travel.
Okay. What is your favorite Destiny planet and why?
Ooh. Europa. It's very icy. It looks very cool.
Hoth. Okay. Best cheese on a burger?
Oof. Classic American.
Okay. If you could take any one famous person to dinner, who would it be?
Any famous person? Famous person. I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. Name a superpower you wish to possess.
Teleportation.
Yeah, me and you, bro. Have you ever had a nickname? I think we answered that already, didn't we? Was that a nickname?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Miklo. Yeah.
Can you drive a stick shift?
No, but I'm pretty sure I can learn pretty fast.
Okay, good man. What would be your spirit animal?
Horse.
What's one thing you own that needs to be thrown out?
Old clothes that don't fit.
What was your first music album?
Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
Nice. C-3PO or R2-D2?
R2-D2.
What is your beverage of choice?
Coca-Cola.
If you had infinite money, would you still work?
Hell no.
Okay. Calm down.
There would be signs.
All right. Okay. Name one thing that you would change about yourself.
Eat less.
I got you. All right, Miklo, you've now completed the speed run. Thanks for playing along, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
I got a question for everybody out there. Is there a speed run question that you think we should ask future guests? If so, let's hear it. Just go to our 2027 speedrun channel and submit your question. And at the beginning of 2027, we're going to have 2 drawings for a $25 Amazon gift card, compliments of our Patreon community. What do you have to lose? Let's hear it. There's 1 entry per member that'll go on the wheel of names that we'll spin, but you can enter as many as you like. We'll be glad to use them. Thank you and good luck. That means it's time for the show topic of the night. We'll do that right after this.
Hi, this is B. Leahy, and you're listening to the Guardian Down Roundtable.
All right, for our topic of the show this week, I was watching a video from Legendary Drops on his YouTube this week, and he was talking about one aspect of game development that kind of piqued my interest. By the way, if you haven't followed Legendary Drops, check out his channel. I think he's got like 500,000 people, maybe more than that follow him. But he always creates some interesting videos around the gaming industry, and sometimes it gives me good inspiration to look into it more. But after I watched it, I looked into this topic a little deeper. I wanted to see what everyone's feedback would be on it. So like I said, feel free to chime in, especially if you're in the live chat tonight. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. We've talked in the past shows about the chaos of the Western game developer studios. They're going through a lot of crap right now, not just the Sony drama. We've also discussed why the East, like China, Japan, and other countries, are really killing it in new games right now. And the biggest factor, it seems, is the exorbitant cost of making video games in the United States today and surrounding areas. So I ask, why is this the case? I mean, video games made just a decade ago didn't seem to have these crazy development costs. So what gives? Well, in the past, I've compared video games with movie studios. I've compared the video game studios very much have the same model as movie studios, and why it is such a gamble in both areas of entertainment. But what are the actual comparisons? So I looked this up, and the main thing about video games is that about a decade ago, the industry rule of thumb was, developers had a fully, salary, benefits, equipment, studio overhead. It was roughly about $10,000 to $12,000 per month. And today in North America, the major hubs like California, Washington, Vancouver, that figure is $15,000 to $20,000 a month per person as far as cost. A modern AAA studio who employs between 300 and 600 full-time staff. This is engineers, 3D modelers, animators, level designers, QA testers, sound engineers, and narrative leads. That's just crazy, man. That's just a lot of people in one studio. A standard AAA dev cycle has now exploded from 2 to 3 years up to 5 to 7 years. So a team of 400 developers working for 5 years at an average fully loaded cost of $18,000 a month equates to $432 million in pure labor costs before marketing even enters the picture. To make a single 3D character in 2010 might have required a concept artist, maybe a 3D modeler and an animator. Today, achieving photorealism requires a concept artist, a high poly 3D sculptor, a low poly optimization specialist, a rigging engineer, a texture and shader specialist, also known as a PBR, not Pabst Blue Ribbon, motion capture performers, and mocap cleanup tech. You got facial animation specialists, you got technical lighting artists, and then you have sensitivity and consulting agencies. That one I really laughed at. Every individual asset passes through a complex pipeline of specialized roles in the studio. So if a direction or scope changes midway through, sound familiar with Destiny? Rebuilding that pipeline wastes millions of dollars in development cost. And unlike a film script that is locked in before a major shoot starts, a game's mechanics, its level flow, the narrative are constantly being built. They're being play tested. They're being discarded and rebuilt. Then you have the misdirection. You got the leadership changes or changes in game engines mid-development. They routinely incinerate 1 to 2 years of work, meaning studios pay high-priced engineer teams for work that may never make it to its final build. Now, let's compare gaming versus Hollywood studios right now. A modern AAA game developer is about $300 million. A blockbuster movie, let's just say for comparison's sake, it's also $300 million in production. The primary cost driver of a AAA game studio, 75 to 85% of the budget is direct payroll across 5 to 7 years. That's why there's layoffs. That's the main thing people can cut to save cost. Let's look at movie studios. You got cast, you got the special effects, on-set production, you got actors' fees, you got practical sets, you got massive third-party visual effects vendor contracts. The development cycle for a video game, AAA, 5 to 7 years. A typical movie is 1.5 to 3 years. And then there's pre-production. That's pre-production to post, by the way. The pacing of the burn rate, which I think Schreier was talking about this in one of his videos. On AAA gaming studios, it's slow. It's a massive burn over years. Payroll is a constant, and it compounds every month the game is delayed. On a movie, it's a spike burn rate. You have these huge capital expenditures during an intense 3 to 6 month principle where they're that photography window where they have to record and capture everything. And then, of course, the visual effects push after that. The marketing ratio, often 50 to 100% of the dev budget, and we'll take the example of a $300 million dev budget, might see marketing cost of $150 to $300 million. Often on a movie theater or a movie studio, 50 to 75% of the production budget is spent on promotion. So you're talking about on a $300 million movie, about 150 on global, P&A and marketing. Now let's talk about post-launch spending. On a video game, it's high and it's ongoing. You have live service patches, you got expansions, you got server costs, you got content drops that requiring and maintaining hundreds of developers to be on staff. With a movie, it's one and done. You got distribution, you got home release formatting, and some minor promotional pushes. This movie is now available, on Blu-ray or whatever. So the problem is the break even. Because games take so long and they cost so much in the baseline developer labor, the financial risk is far more acute than in a film. You have the storefront cut. Platform holders like Steam, we just talked about this, PlayStation, Xbox, they take 30% cut off their sales. Unless it's a first party title like for Sony and, God of War or something, it's more. Or, it's less. If a publisher spends $300 million on development and $100 million on global marketing, that's a $400 million total risk. And they sell the game at $70, $49 net per copy after the 30% platform fee. So if you take those into consideration, you would have to sell 8+ million copies at the full $70 price just to break even. And to do that puts the game in the top 1% of market performers, which Destiny was, by the way. This is precisely why publishers push aggressively into day one microtransactions, cosmetic DLCs, or safe iterative sequels rather than taking creative risk on original IPs. So there's a crisis right now in the AAA gaming studios because the developers and publishers like Sony are tired of these costs. And I talked about Sony's live service push last week, how what they're basically doing in a nutshell from last week's show is instead of banking these studios, paying for all the salaries and payroll and all the expenses, they're just going to sit back and do an initial investment with a studio and then just take that 30% cut. That's all they have to worry. That initial investment is all they have to worry about. I think that's lame. I think that's whatever. There's other studios, I guess, that do the same thing. I mean, that's what Steam does, right? I mean, has Steam made a game?
Yeah, that's how they started.
Yeah, I know with Valve,
made Portal,
with Portal. Yeah, but after that,
and they've made other ones. Yeah,
but they make their money on that commish. They make the money on that commish. So the problem that adds to all this expense is the fact that game developers love Hollywood. We talked about in the past how the writing and production awards in Hollywood don't apply to video games because they look down at video game writers. They think that that's not really as worthy as writing a film or a script or the high production cost of making, like the Odyssey this week that I watched. So they kind of look down. So the gaming industry kind of has this issue where they don't, I guess it's they don't feel like they're being valued. So what a lot of studios are doing is they're hiring Hollywood actors to be in their games. They're spending all this money on mocap, on voice lines. I mean, Destiny's not exempt. I mean, we had Dinklage doing, the Dinklebot, and then they changed it over later. But the problem with these game developers are spending all this money that really doesn't make much difference in the game. So I'll give you some examples here. CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077, these Keanu Reeves. But let me ask you, if Keanu Reeves wasn't in this...
Don't say that did not make a difference.
You don't think
they did to the game.
Okay.
The best thing.
Okay.
What do you think, Miklo?
Okay. I haven't played. I haven't played through yet.
You can have a different opinion, but
what if they just had it? Okay, let that be the.
What do you think, Miklo? Do you like Keanu Reeves in it, or?
He makes it pretty cool. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
What about Death Stranding with Norman Reedus?
I haven't played Death Stranding.
Another example they gave was Quantum Dream, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human. They use Willem Dafoe and Elliot Page. That didn't even come to mind when I heard those Detroit Become Human games. I never even remember. I didn't even thought he was in that game.
That's right.
Supermassive Games. They use Rami Malek and Hayden Panettiere in Until Dawn. Cloud Imperium Games, Star Citizen. Oh, man, that's a deep hole. They've used Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, Henry Cavill, Gillian Anderson, Ben Mendelsohn, John Rhys-Davies, Liam Cunningham. Did that really make a difference in the game?
Yeah, it did big time.
What about Slow Clap? What about Claire Obscure Expedition 33? They used Charlie Cox from Daredevil, Andy Serkis from Lord of the Rings. Now, okay, Andy Serkis was really good. That mocap was really good in that game. I have to admit that was really good. But what I'm saying is this is adding to all of the expenses of making these games, and I'm just wondering if there's a better way to do it. What about Giancarlo Esposito in Far Cry 6?
Oh my gosh. That was amazing.
Okay.
In Far Cry.
That was what Legendary Drops video was about. That's why I didn't really make it the center of the now that's just his opinion that that Hollywood's way too attached to Hollywood, and that he feels in his video that it was money wasted. But I just use that as an example. But we talked about what makes games so expensive, and if they have to sell 8.5 million copies at the full $70 price, you can see why there's AAA games are getting more and more less risky. In other words, you're seeing a bunch of sequels, and the movies have done this too with all of the superhero movies. But that was my topic tonight. I wanted to, mention why the West is having such a problem developing games these days. And how does this get fixed, Kingsley? I mean, how do they fix this expense problem? Is there a fix? Or is this just going to be what manufacturing in the United States was? Not to circle back to that topic again.
I don't think we need to talk about a fix right now. I think you and the dude are making a mountain out of a molehill. I took a lot of notes here.
Well, let's hear.
I'll just loop with the last one, which we already kind of answered. But yeah,
okay.
You can't say that Hollywood looks down on video games, or else all these Hollywood actors wouldn't be willing to be in video games. Okay. Like Keanu Reeves and all these people.
Right.
Also, it's a way to gain excitement, and it does make a difference. We've even had people in the chat saying, and we know with Cyberpunk, it was probably one of the best moves having Keanu Reeves in the game for like what it did and stuff.
I'll have to play it and see. I'll have to play it and see.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean that every game should have someone famous in it. Of course not. But there's nothing wrong or nothing bad with a lot of the times when they've done it. It's been well worth it. Okay. So you mentioned, first of all, video games a decade ago didn't have the same cost. Do you have a source of that? Like, I mean, we don't know that they were that much cheaper unless you have some kind of source or something.
I didn't look up any sources. I can, though.
All right.
I mean,
I can move on. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll look it up.
I disagree with the general point that video games are that expensive based on what they are. They should be as expensive or more expensive than movies to make, because they give you way more entertainment than a movie does, if we just count hours, and they take more time to make than a movie does. You even said that too.
Right.
So if they give you some more entertainment and they cost more to make, then I don't see what the problem is. Of course, they're supposed to be expensive to make. Okay. because you keep comparing to movies, and since you're comparing it to movies, that's why I'm using these points.
I compare it to movies all the time because movies are...
And I don't think they should be compared, but since you are, that's why I'm going down that route.
Okay.
Since you're comparing them to movies, they give us more entertainment than a movie does, and they take longer to make than a movie does. So to me, the costs don't seem that off. Now, sure, you could find things to cut costs, but then you got to use that argument for movies also. Movies and video games both have AAA and expensive ones, and they both have cheaper ones. Indie games, indie movies, things like that.
Absolutely.
So,
A24 is the king of indie movies right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love their movies.
And next, everything's more expensive right now. So that's bringing the cost of video game development up and stuff like that. So it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, yeah, sure, people are going to find ways to cut costs, but that's more just in general with everything in the industry now, not just video games. But I also looked up, I'm curious on your source. You were saying that video games cost about 75% on staff. Well, I read that for movies too. Above the line and below the line, actors, crew, and staff make up to 75% of a film's total production budget.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that in the article I was reading that it was.
Well, you were saying marketing
75.
makes up 75%, but no, I don't think that's true. It's the staff and the actors and the crew.
Oh man!
So there you go, another comparison. So like, if video games shouldn't be having 75% for staff, then movies shouldn't either having 75% for actors and staff. So I really think there's not an issue here, other than the issue is. Well, then there's an issue everywhere with movies, also with everything in life. And there kind of is. Everything's too expensive these days. But there's nothing particularly wrong or different with video games compared to pretty much everything else out there if we're counting movies.
Well, I mean, you would think the upside would be better because video game sales, at least AAA, we're talking about AAA games in this topic, that they have more users than a lot of the entertainment combined, right? And a lot of, I mean, that's generally basing on the gaming industry as a whole, but I'm going to see what the average cost of
Well, I think the interesting thing is what can we do for the games and the movies that don't make their money? Because there's plenty of movies also that don't make their money, right? But are we hearing all the time about movie studios that are shutting down when they have a couple bad movies? Not usually. But we hear about game studios that are shutting down because they've had a couple bad games. They're not making that. So how is it different? Well, that kind of proves 2 points here. Yes, we should be looking for ways that games can make more money and we can have less cost on staff, by a little bit at least. But at the same time, we got to be okay with the point, if we get investment money into these game studios and stuff, that not every game needs to be a hit. And then if it's not, it's okay. Go for the second or the third game. If you have 3 games in a row that aren't a hit, then you're probably having financial problems. But like, you don't have to have every game be perfect where it's like being made perfectly. In fact, one of the dudes from Nintendo, I forget his name, just came out with, I saw this in the news like yesterday or today, saying like, video game companies are often worrying too much that every game has to be a perfect hit. And it's okay sometimes to make games that won't necessarily be a hit right away. And so that kind of goes with that point too, that I think the bigger picture should be overall, like maybe find ways to cut some costs, maybe by a little bit. I don't think it's out of hand because we still want to have some AAA games. We still want to have a lot of indie games, and the AAA games, just based on how the world is today, are going to be continually expensive to make.
Okay. You wanted sources for costs of games 10 years ago. The FTC versus Microsoft. These are illegal disclosures in 2023. Horizon Forbidden West cost $212 million over 5 years with a peak headcount.
That doesn't sound that much less.
No, The Last of Us Part 2, $220 million.
See, that's different from today.
No, I'm not done.
Yeah.
Major publishers reported that greenlighting new AAA games today frequently requires $200 to $300 million in development costs alone, with marketing costs even higher. In contrast, publishers that major blockbusters greenlit 10 years earlier, this is 2013 to 2015, typically operated on a core development budgets between $50 and $100 million. In fact, there was a breach, an Insomniac Games data breach. Marvel's Spider-Man in 2018 cost $100 million to develop. Marvel Spider-Man 2 in 2023 ballooned to $315 million. CD Projekt Red, The Witcher Wild Hunt had development costs of $81 million, with core development around $32 million. Cyberpunk 2077, on the other hand, $142 million, but they totaled $316 million before all the post-launch support. There's just a few examples.
Yeah, you said Horizon, the old Horizon game, that was about 10 years ago. So that was
No, that was Forbidden West, 220. This was a Microsoft. They're getting the figures from that FTC disclosure where Microsoft had to, tell everyone.
So we're looking at maybe like 10, 15 years ago, like AAA games anywhere from
like
100 to 200, but now we're looking at 200 to 300. So it's like, what's the big deal?
All right.
Everything's gone up in price.
Yeah, I understand. On the other hand, Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, 42 to 45 million to make in China. And most AAA, most top tier AAA blockbuster games in China are cost anywhere from 40 to 100 million.
Yeah. And then of course Claire, but that was not a AAA game, even though it ended up acting like a AAA game.
It had sales like
but
what about
it
Balatro?
Was only a few million.
Yeah. No, I'm just, you asked for sources. I was just, I was just looking them up.
Yep.
Those are just a few sources, but I mean, based on my research, I mean, they had to access these sources. They list them on the right side when I look this stuff up. But yeah, I mean, that's just, 81 million, compared to 300 or 400 million, that's a big difference, man.
Well, you're just finding the cheapest example, but still, again,
that was The Witcher 3. That was in 2015, 81 million. And the core development was only 32 million. 81 was including your marketing costs too. That was the combined development and marketing budget of $81 million. Then, like I said, Cyberpunk, man, they put a lot of money in Cyberpunk. I think, why would you think that Cyberpunk would do that? Why would they just not walk away from that game and take their loss?
Because they were smart. See, this goes to my point of like, it wasn't a hit when it first came out, and they made some bad decisions with
they released it too early.
Releasing it too early, even though they delayed it 3 times or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was some smart people at the top. That's the only people that would have made that decision, that they're like, we know we have something good here. And so they let it cook. They let it, go a little bit longer, and it's the best decision they could have done. You know
what this reminds me of? Battlefield 6 right now. They had the perfect opportunity because Grand Theft Auto got delayed another year. And I think, they had really good sales in 2025 when this game released. And it was like the perfect storm. There was no competition. And you remember that was the same year that the 2026, it was the same year that Call of Duty for once really stumbled with its latest game. And I think there were 700,000 people concurrent on the peak on the first, on Battlefield 6. There is something going on right now. People were leaving Battlefield 6 because it wasn't ready. And what people are saying now is that the game was pushed out a year too early. And the updates that Season 4 is bringing right now to Battlefield 6, I'm actually thinking about playing. I abandoned the game because it just was shit. It wasn't anything like I was used to playing. The Season 4 is going to have naval battles. They're bringing back a bunch of old maps. They got all these maps coming in and stuff. It's almost as like this was the trajectory all along, was 2026, and they released it in 2025 instead. I feel like that's the same thing that CD Projekt Red did with Cyberpunk back in the day. Doesn't it kind of feel like the same old story with these developers today? They're pushing them out too early, and you gotta imagine the shareholders are right behind a lot of that, But it goes back to that same problem.
Happens, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Division 2 also, I didn't have a bad release when it came out, but it actually got more popularity and it got better over time.
Yeah, look what Ubisoft is doing right now, man. And you know what's funny? Sorry, I mean to cough from the mic. Ubisoft doesn't really have any new games out there, do they? They're really relying on their.
There's a few, but they're because they had to cut back.
Yeah.
They're smartly relying on the popular ones.
Their game libraries, they're really making improvements to a lot of their games. And maybe that is smart because a lot of us are nostalgic for the games we played, Oh, yeah. Nice picture there, Miklo. I see it now. Thanks, man. You guys definitely are. You guys are definitely brothers, man. Sorry, I saw it late.
That's all good.
But yeah, I mean, going back to, the games are so expensive today. And Schreier talked about this on a video he put out as well, how there's they think because these AAA games have to be photorealistic is why they have all of these other engineers and artists that are involved, because that's what it takes to make these games so photorealistic these days. I'm just trying to understand this whole thing, man. I hear that they're $300 million to make Marathon. I'm looking at that game going, where's the money in this game? It feels like a Destiny game. It feels good. The shooting's great and everything, but the graphics are kind of poor. I mean, the art style is weird, and I don't know, man. It's just it doesn't look anything like a Destiny game. Nothing.
So it's not just about the graphics why costs go up. Probably, since we know a lot about Bungie, the biggest reason why that game costs so much to make is because the freaking engines. They should have killed the Tiger engine a long time. And I know it's a better one in Marathon, so they had to put a lot of money into updating it.
It has been
and making it better.
No, wait a minute. No, I thought
going forward.
Wait a minute. I thought
Marathon
Marathon
it'll be good. But
I thought Marathon was on the Unreal.
No.
It's right. It's
on an updated engine.
It's a dedicated server too. It's not peer to peer. That's true. That's right.
Engine has nothing to do with server. Those are two separate things. But yeah, it's an updated Tiger engine, and look, it could be a situation too where, let's say it costs like 50 to 100 mil just to do the development of the engine, because it could have. You even said in your article,
mid-engine
they
changes.
hire specialists to make engines and stuff. Yeah. So, that could be a big cost of the game, but we know that they can come out with updates a lot better on Marathon than Destiny ever could.
Yeah.
So,
better engine.
Regardless if Marathon does okay in the long run or not, Bungie could be in a better situation now with an updated engine, even though they put a lot of money into it.
Dude, I'd like to think, my copium in tow, that AI can really make game development like half of the time. I mean, all right, everybody get ready to drink. Arc Raiders only took 2 to 3 years to make, half the time that it takes most the AAA games out there to be made. And yes, Arc Raiders has its limitations, and they're hard at work right now for October to really revamp this whole game, because I think they realize what a good game they have now. But dude, how is it taking 7 years to make a video game when it only used to take 2 to 3 years? Just a decade ago, man. That's what I'm trying to understand.
There's more complexities these days to have a better looking video game.
You think it's because of engines? The engines are more complex? I'm just trying to understand
That's
why.
The basic way to say it, but it's more than just the engine. There's like, if you want to make a game that has live service, that has the best graphics, that has this, and this, there are more things you're doing that are more expensive today compared to a game 10 years ago.
Then how does Claire Obscured make such a beautiful game?
It's not a live service game. It doesn't have a crazy engine. It's not as big. It
is on rails. That's true. Yeah. It's a one-player game, basically.
Great music.
And this is just simplistic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm mostly guessing, but these are pretty educated guesses.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miklo, what say you, man? What's your take on all this stuff we're talking about tonight?
I don't really have too much of a big opinion. I agree with everything that Kingsley said. Mm-hmm. I think what makes a great game is you gotta have a good story, great characters, and good music, pretty much.
Yeah, music's important, even though a lot of us mute it after we play.
Yeah, and that's expensive.
Absolutely.
Very expensive to have good music in a game. Mm-hmm.
You can't just hire AI to make it. You got to use real composers, Destiny music. Yeah. I fall asleep to Destiny music every so often. I play music in bed at night to help me sleep. And man, that Destiny music just is so beautiful, man. It is so gorgeous. But I'm just trying to understand this, Kingsley. I'm just trying to understand why. Not only does it, because I've said this in earlier shows, you literally have to be a time traveler or a forecaster. You have to have a crystal ball when you make a game now, because if it's going to take 6 or 7 years, what is the gaming industry even going to look like in 6 to 7 years when you decide to release the game? Marathon found out. They're tracing that's
a different point. I mean, you can have an expensive game made in 3 years. It's less likely these days, but yes, that's a very good point. That has nothing to do with cost, because Claire Obscura took many years to make. I think it was 6 years.
It does have to do with cost, because the main cost of making a game is those salaries over time.
I meant, but Claire Obscura took many years and they kept their costs down. So it's not directly related. It can add, but it's not directly related.
Claire Obscura had a lot less payroll.
So that's why, but the point of it took 6 years also, I believe Claire Obscura did. I heard it took a very long time and it didn't take. So I think if you're making an original idea, a timeless game, a single player game, it's okay to take 6 years. Because games like Cyberpunk, games like GTA. I mean, even though it's going to be live service, it's okay. Or games that people are already used to, like don't come out with Call of Duty every year. Don't come out with a Destiny every year, but come out with a Destiny every 3 or 4 years at least, which again, back to that point, I wish they came out with a Destiny 3 before Destiny 2 went that long. But, live service. Yeah. But if you're doing a game like Marathon, that's live service and it's a very specialized thing. It's not like a single player game and it's going to take, Marathon didn't take quite 6 years. There was the incubation period that most people don't count, but we're kind of counting it in. But actual live development, I think, was more like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But, that is scary. You live service, that's like chasing some trend and it's going to take 3 to 6 years to make. Yeah, that's why the games are failing.
I'm trying to think.
There. It's not so much the costs, in my opinion. It's not so much the this or the that. It's just not knowing if people will like it or not. And, and people, and, it's okay to make a game that not everyone's going to like, right?
Right.
The guy even said that. I got to get his name from some guy from Nintendo. Not all their games are hits and right. Or they don't know if they'll be a hit before they come out. But if you're going to make games that you're not sure if people will like or not, then your business has to support that. You can't just rely on 1 or 2 games. And then if they don't do perfect, then of course you're going to shut down. So just like with movies too, they make movie studios make movies that not every movie's a hit, yet they're not shutting down right and left,
And indie movies where they really can save a lot of cost is locations. I mean, the Odyssey, my God, they were all over the world recording all these scenes. And you can use green screens in AA movies or, like an A24 movie, or have the whole story on one set, That's where a lot of them save money, where it's like $8 million instead of like, $150 million to make a movie. And if the story's good, man, it all comes down to content, right? If the story's good, the movie's good. And all you have people that can portray that story in a realistic point of view, then you've got a winner. Like the movie I just watched last week, The Invite. That movie was solely recorded on a soundstage of an apartment, of an apartment complex, the whole thing. And yes, they had a few location of him walking through the city to his job and stuff, but real cheap takes, You sit there with a camera and you take it, and not that I know anything about movie making. I'm just saying, they're like, it's like B-roll. You're recording B-roll, to explain what the guy's doing in real life. But it was all recorded in that one stage. The whole movie took place in this apartment. So that's where they can save a lot of money. I looked it up, by the way. I've been bragging about how Black Myth Wukong, only their costs were like, what would I say? I don't know, 42 million to make. They had a team of 20 to 30 people, and it took them 6 years to make. So maybe that is the way games should be made now in the future. Maybe if games are going to take 6 to 7 years, maybe they just need to have, like we've mentioned this in the past shows, a core creative team that has the vision, and then everything else, just put it out to subcontractors. You need someone to program it to this or that, or as long as they have that core creative team. And for Black Myth Wukong, it was 20 to 30 people. And for Claire Obscura, it was 33 people. I mean, look how well that movie did.
And then hundreds of contractors.
Yes. Maybe that is the way that the Western game studios can figure this out and keep their costs down.
For some games, but we still want to have AAA live service games too. I would hate for them to go away.
Yeah.
So we've already been having different types of games. We already have indie games. We already have the Black Myths and the things. Again, there has to be, I think, a situation where we still have triple. I don't want there to be no triple and quadruple A games just because they're expensive.
Yeah.
It can be done. I just think with those types of games, And it doesn't mean that yes, they can and should find ways to cut costs, but it's not like it's going to bring it from 300 million to 50 million. It's just not, maybe it'll bring it like from 300 million to 250 or something based on today's costs. And as long as they don't stop making some of those games, but you got to do the safe bets probably with those games. You got to do, it's okay to cost that much if that's just actually what it costs. I'm sure Ubisoft is in a position now where they're not wasting as much money. And if they're still going to be doing their AAA games, then that's the model. Yeah. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have $300 million games though, at all. You got to have some of those and some of the Black Myth games.
And if you're going to use a Hollywood star to make your video game, it better sell 8+ million copies to offset the cost and break even. That's the break even is 8+ million copies. If we go by that equation, which could be skewed.
If you're even just saying initial sales even if you can say sales down the road, just like people rent and buy movies down the road too. It's not as good as the initial bump, of course, but there is some of the long tail.
And there we come all the way back around to physical game sales because there is no secondary market once they own all the digital rights to all the shows, all the games. Yeah. I'm going to go off on a small tangent here. I want everyone in chat to answer this. If you want to answer it, you don't have to, and you guys, I want to, this is something that's been bugging me. Live service games. Let's consider this Destiny 2. We can consider this Arc Raiders. It can be
Diablo Division.
Yes. Live service games. What does a live service game have to put into the activities that you play where you want to play it every day? What do they have to put in the game, in a live service game today, to make it be a 12-year game like Destiny 2 was? What's the missing ingredient? Because a lot of these live service games are falling off a cliff, man. You see them peak here. And
not as many as you think.
Well, a lot of there's exceptions.
Warcraft, we got Warframe,
That's
we got
true. Warframe's an enigma.
Division.
Let's face it.
We get
But this is what you see in Steam. You see this peak sales, and then it slowly erodes. Battlefield 6 not exempt. They did the same thing. And looking at Marathon, sorry, this is a bad way of showing it, but Marathon, was down to less than 2,000 players at some point during the day. And you know what happened when they put the PvE mode in? It tripled. It went up to like 15,000, 16,000 people at that time when it came out. So that's a good thing. I don't think those numbers, though, are going to pay their bills. They still haven't sold enough copies to break even on that game. But I'm just curious.
Well, no, it's
what is it, guys?
Easy-ish answer. Destiny was doing it for a while too. You got to have an update every 3 to 4 months max.
Content.
If you can't keep that schedule, then you're going to start going downhill. Warframe's been able to do it.
Yeah.
Diablo's been able to do it. Division's been able to do it. World of Warcraft's been able to do it. Okay.
And
there's times where Destiny was able to do it.
And remember, every season there'd be a seasonal activity, right? But even then, we got tired of the seasonal activities. We'd play it for a few days and go, I'm going to go back to what I normally do in Destiny.
Okay, but if you're the type of person that got bored with it, that's not in itself a bad sign that the game's going to die. Yeah, like sometimes when I'm playing in Division or Diablo, I may only be interested in the seasonal activity for about a week or so, but there's other things. You're also grinding for the weapons. You're doing this and doing that. And if a season is 3 months, and even if it only gets some people interested for about a month, that's still okay, because then there's another season coming 2 months later.
And like Deadpool mentioned in his question last week's show, he says, why are games dead right off the bat if they start losing players? No, man, it's all about those initial sales. That's how studios make their money. How many copies did they sell? I'm just saying, a lot of these studios with these high prices have to sell 8+ million copies of their game. Now, Battlefield 6, they sold 15+ million copies. So I think they made some money on that game. EA did. I think that's why they're reinvesting, or this was already planned work into this Battlefield 6 game. And I'm telling you, man, I'm thinking about jumping back on and playing it now that there's freaking land, sea, and air battles. That's just amazing. It didn't have any of that when the game came out. But sorry, I got off on a little bit of a tangent, but I was just.
But I wanted Miklo to answer, or anyone else in the chat if they have thoughts, and it's okay if you don't. Miklo,
what makes a great live service game? Do you have any
kind of you can talk Destiny or even other games, like what is like a best case scenario for you, or good experiences you've had with live service games?
Yeah, what makes it stick around?
I would say like the season activities and like the loot chase for the weapons and stuff. I would say would make it pretty good.
Yeah.
There's always a new gun, new toy to play with.
Base Windu says new content every few months. Yep, that's kind of like what I was saying too.
That was your complaint with the latest Destiny. Where's the content? We had that big content drought, right? No wonder the numbers went down. There was nothing left to play.
Story.
That's the same thing with Arc Raiders right now. You can only go and dig through drawers and get the same items forever and ever, and eventually,
and yes, the hardcore people will stick around, but the hardcore is a very small percentage to the numbers you want to see.
If you're a live service game, the hardcore are not going to keep you alive. Not going to keep you
exactly.
Above.
You need very good point. That's the bet. Who said that? I want to give him props.
I did that. I said that. Thank you.
You said that?
I said that.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. Thank you, Gator. That is probably. I couldn't have said it better. That is the best point, is that you can't just have the hardcore people. Yeah. You got to have enough content that brings the medium core or the casual people back every few months. And that's what it is for like Diablo for me too, because like I get excited at the beginning of a season. I'm not super hardcore in Diablo, even though it may seem like it to some people. Yeah. I'll play for like a few weeks to a month here and there every season. That's still good enough for a seasonal model. But I have some friends that are making new characters all the time, because there's way more characters in Diablo than there are in Destiny, and having fun just grinding everything through. But you got to bring back the other people every several months to keep it going.
That's what Destiny failed to do. They couldn't bring back people pieced out after Final Shape, and they couldn't get them back. That's when they should have made another game, but that's another matter. McMaximo says, I know most people weren't fans of drizzling out the content over the course of a season, but I always kind of liked it when there was just a little something to do each week, just a little bit more story each time. The problem with McMaximo with that is the story was pathetic every week. I mean, it was a nothing burger. You remember that, Kingsley? It was a nothing burger. It was like, go talk to Marasov, and you talk to her, and she goes, okay, go run another version of the same seasonal activity and come back and talk to me. And that was it. And she give you a little nugget.
Nuances here. Yeah, there's some nuances here. I get it both ways.
Yeah.
But this goes more to the overall thing of just, it wasn't enough content either way. But I'm okay with them having like a little, even if it's not much story week to week. That does give me a reason to come back also. But what I didn't like, what Destiny sometimes did, was they also would gatekeep the activity versions week to week. I think all the activities should be available on day one of a season, that season. And then, you can have you come back next week to give some more lore or something like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, which way you do it, Destiny was having issues where there wasn't much story and the activities weren't a lot to do.
Yep.
And some of the newer ones. Yep.
Base Window, I mean, I got over 4,000 hours on D2, enjoyed grinding every day. That was me, man. That was me. Get your bounties done. Do you do bounties? Get your bounties done, man. That's what the grinding was. At least some of that.
So if you can spend that many hours, what stopped it for you, Todd? Because if you could spend 4,000, you can, in theory, spend 8,000. What changed? What clicked?
There were a lot of things. There were a lot of things that really turned me off on Destiny 2. One was putting caps on stuff. If I want to go and farm stuff on the Cosmodrome,
the game always had that.
It always limited. It put artificial limitations on strange coins every week.
So why didn't that bother you the first 4,000 hours then?
Yeah, I've got like 8,000 hours, I think, in this game. If you combine Destiny 1 and 2.
I want to know what changed at the end that got you to not interested as much, because the game always had that.
Well,
like,
the end, why I'm playing Arc Raiders mainly now, it's because Dad Bod Hero kind of said it. He says, why should I even bother playing this game anymore? What am I playing for? There's no future for the game. Why should I do all this grinding?
Yeah.
That I have to feel like I'm working towards something when I play a game, especially if I'm grinding a game, man.
That's fair.
Yeah. And that's what's happening to me in Arc Raiders right now is I'm grinding these gear out. I did my first expedition this week with an alt character. I wasn't dumb enough to do it on my main one. And I was like, I got to rebuild all my workbenches. I got to go find all these stupid parts to build it again. And it just, there was nothing fulfilling about it. Yeah, I got 5 extra skill points, but the skill points don't really tweak much. Nothing like Destiny, man. I mean, you can get a really good build in Destiny and be a god. That's not the case in Arc Raiders. You get like 6% here, 2% here. Like one of the skill perks is you can open and pry stuff open quietly. I haven't been able to tell the difference between phase 1 and phase 5. I can't tell the difference in my headphones that it's any quieter. I'm like, I guess it's quieter to the arc enemies so they don't come running after me when I do it. But I have never seen. It's like, and this is what I'm hoping they're going to revamp in October. The skill points don't really mean much. They're not really moving the needle much. So, and that's the reason. That's the reason I quit playing Destiny. And I love playing the raids. They're challenging. This old man brain, it keeps his brain crisp because you guys are on me to make sure I do my job in the raids. And I love that part of it. That's why I like doing it every Saturday. I look forward to it. But yeah, I mean, it's when you're grinding and working towards stuff in a game, you want to hope that game sticks around. Remember when they sunset all the weapons? Remember how defeated Dado was? He was like, why should I even play? There's no reason for me to play the game anymore. I mean, there's nothing to grind for anymore. There's no reason to grind anymore because they just eliminated all the weapons that I just grinded for. It's kind of the feeling when I play a video game. I want to feel, I guess I'm answering my own question here. This is what makes a live service game long-term for me is I have to feel like I'm working towards something. I'm building a better character. I'm adding to whether it's my swagger, whether it's my drip, whether it's my power in the game. I want to feel like it's like an additive event. Every time I log in every night, I want to feel like I'm adding a little extra to my character. And yes, if it means my character gets overpowered, that's because I put the time in to make it powerful. I guarantee you this is what happens in World of Warcraft. You have people with these very crazy mounts that they're going to work for and trying to get. And then they come into a raid and bust open the doors like, move out of my way. Because they put the time in to grind and get better and get more skilled and have more power in the game. And
funny enough,
Fudd's going to probably correct me on that part because I don't play a lot of World of Warcraft. But
funny enough, it's the opposite in Diablo. Your character resets, and that keeps a lot of people. Really, the seasonal stuff, and that keeps a lot of. So everyone's different. They like different things.
I don't like seasonal wipes.
This is the perennial conversation too. It's like, you got to have stuff, but what stuff? That's the question. Diablo is insanely popular. You can just do the Eternal Realm stuff. You don't have to do the seasonal stuff, but that's what keeps people coming back because you're always grinding for something new because you're trying a new character. You're trying something new and you're tweaking your build a different way each time and going after new weapons and new skill points and things like that. And it keeps a lot of interest there. It's a way to actually kind of build in more stuff to do without actually them building in more stuff to do.
Games have to. This is what the game developers at the whiteboard have to answer. They have to answer this question: what's going to get this guy to log in every day? We have to give him a cookie. We got to give him something. We have to give him some kind of reward. And Base Windows said, "Hey, I think once I got everything and being in an inactive clan, I just, I was done." And he's got like 10,000 hours if you combine Destiny 1. So,
But if you keep making a season every 3 or 4 months, then they add more new things to go for, and then they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then
new weapons and stuff. Good. Yeah. But the problem is Destiny was running out of ideas. The weapons were looking like reskins of an older weapon.
That's why they were supposed to pivot to a Destiny 3 then.
Yes.
Even it's very rare, and it's a separate point, even though World of Warcraft and Warframe has made it work. Most live service games should have a total reset. Even if you don't like seasonal resets,
right.
I think they should have a total reset to a new game every 3 to 6 years. Division's going to do it with Division 3. And actually, everyone's really excited. They're like,
really?
We need the reset. We need the Division 3 soon because, you can make a new engine then. You can do better graphics. You can do all these things and have a bunch of new weapons all at once versus just 5 new weapons each season or something that,
Yeah. D3 should have happened after we defeated the Witness. I'm with you, man. Final shape should have been the final shape. I mean, the whole game is about a final battle. That's what the whole game's about.
And that's why it makes sense with Division also. That they know when to make a Division 3. They're not making Division 2 for too long.
You grind in Division, you get all this awesome builds and gear, and then all of a sudden everyone starts at 0 again. I don't know.
All of a sudden, you just said that Destiny should make a new D3, so Division
no.
D3 also.
No, you said there were going to be seasonal wipes in D3 or Division.
No, I
3.
said that for Diablo.
Oh, Diablo, yeah. See that I don't like that.
I didn't say that for.
I don't like seasonal wipes.
Yeah, but many people do. Yeah,
but until when someone comes out with a space opera game like Destiny, and there's a big void right now because there is no game to replace it. There
is.
Well, okay. That will build your character in a live service environment. And I've mentioned Ready Player One. Yes. I mean, Ready Player One, it was unlimited because you can get all kinds of swag. You can, it just seemed like that platform was endless. And I got a lot of comments on YouTube like, hell with that, man. That means all the corporate overlords are going to give us little. No, man, it's a market. This is a free market economy. If another vendor has something that's cooler in the game, you would go to that vendor and make the corpos or whatever you're calling over here, make something to match that. That's competition, man. That's what makes America great. Anyway, I
just want to tell people, don't stress out there. There are a lot of other games that are as good as Destiny 2.
Okay.
You can find them out there. People are all the time. It's also okay if you only want to play Destiny 2, but don't think like there's not other good live service games out there to play.
Yeah, don't listen to this old guy. I'm a jaded old Destiny guy. I have some hard feelings, that's for sure. Hey, thanks for taking that ride with me, guys. I know it was a long topic, so let's get into our catch-up segment. Let's have a little fun and sit back and chill right after this.
Hey, Elmer Fudd Games here, and you're listening to Guardian Down Roundtable. If you're listening to any other show right now, I will break into your house and destroy your kneecaps. I will twist off the headboard of your bed so when you go to stretch in the morning, you fall between the crevice. Guess what? Dog hair and old socks. Disgusting. No one wants that, but we want you to listen to this podcast. How's that? Is that good?
I like it. All right, boys and girls. This segment is where we catch up, talk about what we've been playing, what we've been gaming, what we've been doing in our life. And I'll start with our guest of honor tonight, Miklo. Let us know what's going on in your life right now, man. What are you playing? What are you gaming? What's going on?
Not a whole lot going on. I've been playing Course D2. I recently started to replay Cyberpunk, doing the Corpo route.
Nice. Oh, you doing Corpo?
Yeah. I've heard that the Corpo route has like more dialogue.
It's inner city too. You're in the city and you're stealing stuff from computers, and it's crazy, man. It gets really stressful.
Yeah. And pretty much, Call of Duty's in the back is there too, because my friends get on daily. Yeah.
What's Call of Duty like these days? I haven't played in probably a decade. Well, I played zombies, but not regular multiplayer.
Call of Duties I like are the ones made from Infinity War, so like the Modern Warfare series.
Yeah.
Those are just so smooth.
Do you still play the campaigns? You still play the campaigns?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the last couple of Call of Duties, I didn't bother with them because they were trash.
Okay.
But the new one, Modern Warfare 4, that was going to be a juicer.
Okay.
It looks like.
All right. I guess Kingsley, what's going on in your life, man? Talk to us.
Yeah. Gaming. I hopped a little bit in Diablo this last week. There was a few things I was checking out. They made some good patches. They were listening to the community where it didn't bother me as much, but I can see why people wanted this. They did some new thing where you can craft the highest mythic things now, where before you can craft everything in the game except for just one small thing, which were mythics. But they made a way to do it, but then they did it in a stupid way. So it wasn't the blame on the crafting. It was just the blame on how they did it. So they fixed that. And so people are excited to grind again. The hardcore players, mostly. Me being a medium core player, I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. I'll get it if I get it. But mostly Cyberpunk, even though if you check me in Discord, it looks like I'm always on it. I just keep the game open a lot, but I've been playing in a medium amount. Sorry, not Cyberpunk. I do want to get back into that also.
Resync.
Black Flag. Yeah. I think I'll be, maybe if I keep what I'm doing, I'll be done with Black Flag in another week or so. But then I don't know if I want to hop. I want to do some more Diablo. I want to do some more Cyberpunk. I want to do some more Warframe. There's so many good games out there. Gaming I'm not hurting for, but other things, IRL, getting ready for brother-in-law's coming into town from Australia.
Oh, wow.
My wife's brother.
Oh, nice.
And we've raided with him before. I don't know if you have, Todd, but
Omega?
His name.
No, that's your nephew.
No, that's my nephew.
Right.
Brother-in-law it's another Prime name. He just goes by Prime, but it's not Optimus or obviously not Rodimus Prime, but it's like another Prime name. I forget his full gamer tag.
Okay.
But we've raided. Some of us have raided with him before, but we're just getting the house ready. We have some extra rooms in the basement and stuff. And so, but kids used to live down there, but now we haven't really touched it much since then. So we're just trying to clean it up and stuff. And you know how that goes when kids move out.
Dude, you kidding me? My wife made an office out of my daughter's room.
It's been years.
My son's room is a TV watching room where she has a big chair she sits in.
We already had enough of a house for us. We didn't need to do that. Luckily,
I got you.
We have a 3,000 square foot home.
Nice.
Just the wife and I. The whole top floor is plenty enough for us to have off my office, couple bedrooms, things like that.
Nice.
But now that we have the basement, which we haven't had to touch since the kids have moved out. But anyways, brother-in-law is going to come.
That's cool.
Visit.
That's cool.
I've been saving watching Odyssey until he came into town because they don't always get movies the same timing in Australia as they do over here.
Yeah, delayed.
And so I got the tickets through Cinemark. I do the Cinemark movie club thing, which I like better. Okay. I've mentioned it before, where you pay a monthly fee and they give you credits each month. But even if you don't go to a movie that much, you don't lose it. It rolls over and your credits can keep building up.
That's nice.
So I have like 7 credits right now since the last time I've been to a movie.
Yeah,
so
it resets.
He's coming with his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And then me and my wife, and we're going to go. And basically, it's already paid for.
Please.
I got tickets for Saturday.
Please tell me you bought it for IMAX.
I did, but I don't care.
Dude, it was all filmed at IMAX.
As intended.
So it doesn't mean the movie's going to be horrible. Not on IMAX.
No, not at all. It just yeah. I'll talk about my movie.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I did the XD, which they call the IMAX here.
Okay.
It is an IMAX
You'll be
screen,
fine.
but it's like some extra things. But I don't worry about that as much. But looking forward to that. And then that's Saturday. We will be back in time, but there's a small chance. I don't think so, but there's a small chance I'll have to see. Maybe he'll even want to join and watch on Raid Night.
Heck yeah,
he's
man.
raided with us before.
You join our live chat.
But we'll have to see what he's up to doing.
Heck yeah, man.
We're going to the 3:00 showing, and I know it's a 3-hour movie, and then we'll probably want to get a bite to eat, but that's still 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll probably be back because remember, I'm 2 hours earlier. I'll probably be back by 10:30, just about perfect.
I'll give you an example, Kingsley. I went to the 3:00 movie as well. We were out at 6:30, but once you get dinner, I had dinner with my parents and my wife. I think I got home around 8:30, being realistic there. So, yeah.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
but
see if you can jump by.
Be fun. Yeah. But looking forward to that. And we've had like I mentioned earlier in the show, some crazy monsoons stuff that's been going through.
Right.
But some areas of Utah, like it hasn't hit the main valley where most people live, like the Salt Lake Valley, as bad.
Right.
But south of us and stuff, and especially with a lot of the bad fires and stuff, afterwards they leave burn scars.
Right.
And stuff. And then like what happened in California and other places too, and then flooding. And already there was, this can happen any year when you're out in the West. If you're camping and if it's a time of the summer where there's possible thunderstorms, do not do it, or be very, very careful, because what can happen out in these areas, especially with the geography and like little mountain passes and valleys and stuff like that, it looks like desert in a lot of areas, but there's these dry washes and they're meant to hold thunderstorms. They create these instant rivers that just create like little mini floods.
Wow.
And there was a family of 4 people that was camping and they died. They got washed away.
Holy crap.
In a flood. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It happens every year. But that's why, again, if you're out in the wilderness and thunderstorms are coming through, get back to somewhere safe,
dude.
Else you really know what you're doing.
Someone died in one of the river trails in not what's the name of that park there, the big one,
Zion.
Yeah, someone died when we were there. Someone drowned for that same reason. I think it was.
Yeah, I'm telling you, every year it happens.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
But
gravity.
Yeah, I've been some crazy drives in the summer before where I saw some thunderstorms coming. Actually, my scariest time, and then I'm just trying to vamp here, but I'll be done soon. Yeah. But it wasn't in a storm, but it was shortly after one. Like it probably happened a day before or something. It was a pretty bad one, and I love doing little mountain drives. I talked about this actually, by the way, on the episode back with my wife, episode 85, I think it was. We were talking in the Discord. I re-listened to it. It was a good episode. Loved having my wife on. I'll see if I can get her on again. But I love taking like mountain drives and stuff on, back roads and dirt roads and stuff. But I was trying to go on this one drive I hadn't done before, and it rained recently. And then so I started going up the hill a little bit, the mountain a little bit, and then all of a sudden it went from dry to like super wet and muddy and slushy. And my car almost got stuck.
Ooh.
And there's like, and it's already the part where you're going up the mountain a little bit, and there's like a steep drop off on the one side. Also, as I was going up, I saw like a pickup truck that was halfway off the side of the mountain.
Oh, damn.
That he got out fine, you could tell, but like his car was like 2/3 off the side of the road, hanging off the mountain.
Jeez.
And so I was like, crap. I'm like turning around slowly because you don't have a lot of, I was trying to look. Actually, I had to go reverse for a while to look for like a little area where I could turn around more. And then I'm like, I'm not doing this drive anymore because it was kind of scary. But.
Yeah, the theme there is come to Florida where our theme parks are flat and you don't get flooded.
Well, you get flooded when it's flat too.
Well, yeah,
it rains a lot.
Our floods here aren't anything like you guys have up north, but
no, yeah, it's not like a roaring river flood that's going to come.
No, it's the gravity of those mountains, man. Just builds up momentum.
Yeah,
right? It's crazy.
Yeah. That's basically it, though. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be brief here. I talked about Arc Raiders already, so I'll skip past that. I've been watching season 3 of Euphoria. That damn show's disturbing, man. It just went off the rails in season 3. And there's been a time because there was a gap between season 2 and season 3, so they're a little older. So they go like fast forward after high school and what they're doing after high school. And that damn show's nuts, man. I go to bed troubled. I can't watch that at night anymore. I go to bed like troubled thinking about, man, is Rue going to be okay? Is this girl going to survive? I don't know how she's living still. Anyway, Euphoria, it's a badass show. My wife and I did go see one movie at the theater this past week. I just already mentioned it, I think, using my AM Stubbs A-List membership, where you can see 4 movies every week, any screen, no online fees, and no, I don't get sponsored to say that. I just think it's a cool deal. But I don't have points that accumulate, though. It just resets every week. I brought my parents as well because I don't see them as much anymore. And my dad always brought me to the big blockbuster movies when I was a kid, so I wanted to do the same for him. We saw The Odyssey. Of course, it's Matt Damon as Odysseus, Zendaya as Athena, Tom Holland as Telemachus, and Anne Hathaway was Penelope. I don't know if you all know the story by Homer in Greek mythology. I used to love reading it long ago. I was a real Greek mythology geek back in my college years. But, you know, real life kicks in and you can't study stuff like that anymore, it seems. But one of my top 10 films of all time is Troy, where it had Eric Bana, Brad Pitt as Apollo, and Orlando Bloom. It was back in 2004. I can't believe it's been that long. It is one of my top 10 films of all time. It's one I have on DVD. I'll watch it every year. There's a few movies that I'll go back and watch again, and that's one of them. Some fun facts about this film. It was one of the very first featured films to be shot entirely on IMAX film. They have to use special cameras, and I'm sure everybody has heard how they put sound dampening. They built a special box for this camera because during softer scenes, this thing was like a lawnmower. It made so much noise. And I didn't know if you knew this, but IMAX cameras, you have to replace the film every 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes per take. And so people would have to freeze in their scene while they're reloading the camera. And 3 minutes, it's a 3-hour movie. You know that's not the total. You know the total time's a lot more than that. Can you imagine going through filming that movie? It just had to have been crazy. Only Christopher Nolan would be crazy enough to make this movie. But I have to admit, man, the IMAX, I watched mine in the Dolby Theater, which is IMAX plus all the Dolby sounds and stuff. The whole theater was rumbling the whole time because the music and the sound was just amazing. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the IMAX film or what, but the film just seemed big. It seemed so different than a normal film you watch. And I may have been just all hyped up for the movie or whatever, but Certified Fresh, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Metacritic gave it an 89%. Those are fantastic scores. It was Christopher Nolan's biggest global opening weekend of all time, $264 million worldwide. It set a bunch of other records too. I won't bother you guys with tonight, but I really enjoyed this one. That's the first third of the movie I thought moved a little slow, but it just keeps building up momentum and more momentum and more momentum until the final act. It's epic. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's very epic, the ending. like I said, I saw it in the Dolby Atmos Theater, and we had rumble seats and everything. It was just crazy, man. If you have a chance, watch it in one of the big fancy theaters, because it really lives up to all the promotion and hype they've been putting out there. I give this one a rare score of 4.5 stars. It's a great effing movie, man. I might even see it again. There's very few movies that I go back to the theater and watch. One was Dune. The other one was, of course, The Matrix. Like I say, if you have the chance, it's totally worth it. Go see it. As far as Destiny goes, we ran another Pantheon this Saturday. Then I think we ran part of it, and then we did a 1,000 voice Catalyst run for some of our teammates who hadn't gotten the
AKA Last Wish. We ran Last Wish.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Last Wish. And,
I still need the Catalyst.
But it happened to be the featured raid of the week, so we were getting tier 5 gear, a bunch of red bar weapons and loot, and I think we're going to run another Pantheon this Saturday night. I think so, tentatively, TBA. So we usually start around 10:30.
You don't even need to mention. Sometimes we decide on the fly, but yeah.
Exactly. Well, we usually stream at 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights if you guys want to stop out and hang out. I wanted to mention also that Elmer Fudd Games and I are hosting another raid race, Destiny 2 raid race, and I'm posting the graphic in the Discord chat right here. I don't know if it'll post in the others. I can try, but I don't know if it'll post or not. We'll see if it allows me to do it. No, it won't. Okay. Sorry. Can't post the graphic in that, but it's at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and it's going to be 3 raids, 3 hours. And the way you want to watch it is twitch.tv/Elmer Fudd Games, DD in Elmer Fudd Games. And come by and hang out. I'm going to have a hard time keeping up with Fudd's energy, but the man is a showman. So I will do the best I can and talk about all kinds of gibberish about how I know about all these raids and stuff. But I can't remember what raids he said we were going to do. I think we were trying to decide what raids. I don't. So come hang out. It's twitch.tv/Elmer Fudd Games on Twitch. And it's 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. And it is for our UK folk across the pond. Our GDR members across the pond requested that we do another raid race. So this has been a long time in the works. So come and hang out with us if you guys want to see how it goes. I don't know how many teams there are or any of that stuff yet. I'm hoping Fudd will send me some info on that so I'll have some knowledge beforehand. But, before we leave tonight, we have a few questions from our community. Let's do that next.
Hey, Gator. If I was to send a question for the show, where would I need to go?
Wow, great question, Native. Can't believe you thought of that. You can send us a question for the show in our Discord at discord.gg/Guardian Downcast and enter it in our podcast questions channel. Or they can email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or what I really like are those voicemails. So just go to guardiandowncast.com, that's our website, and hit that send voicemail button at the very top or the very right side of the page. Believe me, you can't miss it.
Wow, Gator, there are so many awesome ways to send questions to the show.
Thanks, Native. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? If you have a question for the show or just want to make a comment about a past segment, send it our way, and we might read it out or play it live on the show. All the links are down in the episode notes down below. And later, Guardians.
All right, bro. Is that it? Because I'm done. I'm about to be out of here.
Yeah, okay. I'll Venmo you later. All right, boys and girls, it's that part of that time of our show where we answer questions from you guys. And we have some questions for us and Miklo tonight. I'll start with Barrel Barley. He says, question for Miklo. When you pump gas, do you try to land on an even number, or does it not matter and you just fill it till it clicks?
I usually try to end on an even number, usually, yes.
And Zombie Pop said, the answer definitely tells everyone what tax bracket you're in, or at least not in.
I saw that.
It tells how OCD you are.
That's true. I used to do that when I was I was a young buck.
I never heard the even number thing before, but I had heard people try to end it at a 0 or a 5.
Wow.
But people ended on even numbers, so you're even okay ending it on 2?
I don't care. I just let it click.
Interesting. What's wrong with odd numbers? Do they offend you somehow?
No, it's just the thing, I guess.
Well, it depends if you're prepaying or if you're just throwing it on the card, which it's my business. I write it off. So I just click fill clicks. On my personal vehicles.
I definitely do not care. When it stops, or when I feel like stopping it, I stop.
Yeah, exactly. A Zombie Pops question for Miklo. Is it ultra or light?
It's gotta be ultra.
Hell yeah.
Big Zombie Pops.
Hell yeah.
Doc, speaking of our UK members, question for Miklo. When you dream of yourself on a Scottish Highland in your tartan kilt, do you identify with William Wallace or Connor McLeod or the clan McLeod? Am I saying that right?
I would have to say with William Wallace, you can't forget about Robert the Bruce also.
Oh man, exactly.
King of Scots.
That was a great, I love that movie. It's great. Okay, next question. Question for Miklo, again from Doc. What are your top 3 double cheeseburgers ever?
Oh man. Well, number 1 for sure is a double animal style from In-N-Out.
Hell yeah.
In-N-Out. Yeah. The secret menu. Yes. All right.
And then number 2 is the Superstar from Carl's Jr.
Hell yeah, Carl's Jr., man.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Kingly's made a friend.
Your SoCal brother with me.
Number 3, I would say, would have to be from a spot that's it's called the Burger Boy.
Burger Boy. Big Boy? Frisch's Big Boy?
No, it's called Burger Boy here, and
okay, we don't have those.
Really good, really good burgers.
Nice.
I think I've heard of them. Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe just a local area.
That's the first thing I did when I went to Utah. I had to order off the secret menu. Thanks, Kingsley, for that. We don't have In-N-Outs in Florida. We have Shake Shacks. Shake Shacks any good? I guess they're okay.
They're okay. They're mediocre at best.
There is a bar in it's a chain called Hurricanes. You guys have those? It's not a bar.
It's not chain bars in Utah.
No, it's not it has a bar, but no, it's a chain of restaurants.
Oh, it's a restaurant? Okay.
Called Hurricanes. I think it's a Florida thing, but they have a bourbon strap, bacon, and cheddar cheese burger that is it's like 1,300 calories. It's a monster, but I order it every now and then before I go bowling on Mondays with my buds. And all right. Good question, Doc. Thanks. From McMaximo, ask Miklo if he's got any good stories involving how much he and his brother look alike.
Oh, we have the picture in the Discord, by the way.
Yes.
Well, I don't have too many crazy stories, but it does get mentioned almost everywhere we go. Like, it's always like, "Hey, are you guys twins? Are you guys twins?" And brother, he goes, "No, we're not. We're just 6 years apart. It's all cool."
You guys look very, very close together. That's for sure.
And then does that supposed to mean that the younger feels dejected, like they look older, or does that make the older feel better, like they look younger?
I guess it goes both ways. I don't mind. I usually go, yeah, we're twins. It's cool,
I love it.
I think Miklo and his brother should mess with people at the hospital, walk in and do something, and then the other walk in 5 minutes later and do the exact same thing. I don't think he deals with patients. I think he deals with the background stuff.
We wear different colored scrubs.
There you go.
I don't think it would work.
Oh, is he working at the hospital too? You both do? Awesome, man. Awesome. Nice. That's cool. That's awesome. That's all the questions we have tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I did want to make a little bit of housekeeping tonight. I did want to make a correction last week on the show that almost wasn't. I mentioned that PlayStation was spreading out their one-player games ports to 3 to 5 years. And what I forgot to say in my research, or never. There is, in fact, very good possibility that Sony is totally not going to be releasing ports to PC on their first-player games. They mentioned in the research that it was they might stretch things out to 3 to 5 years or never do a port. So I wanted to make sure I corrected that last week. I didn't want to lead everyone on that all their first player games were going to be ported in 3 to 5 years. So just want to mention that. Hey Guardian, our show runs on Duncan. I mean, it's supported by our community. And by that, I mean our Patreon community. We're nearly 100 strong now. And if you want to join an awesome group of people and get the benefits like a private channel with myself and Kingsley Mack and all of our other Patreon members out there, not to mention special badges in our Discord community, years of behind the scenes, special audio and video episodes just for our patrons, and it's really simple. Just go to GuardianDownCast.com and hit that Patreon button to find out more. You can also join us for free, so what do you got to lose? If you've received any value from the show today, keep those corporate sponsors out of our podcast by simply joining our awesome community at patreon.com/support Guardian Downcast. Later, Guardians. Hey, Future Gator here. Another great show thanks to our bud Miklo and my co-host Kingsley Mack. It was fun to hear more about another newer member of our community. And just a reminder, if you've been a part of our community and want to come on our show and tell us your story, DM me in the Discord and we may consider you in a future episode. We especially like active members in our community. So if you're game, let us know. We really went into the weeds on our show topic tonight, but game development has increased considerably since just a decade ago. So other than inflation, which is typically 2 to 4% a year, why are video game developers spending twice and sometimes triple that? Is it the cost of more lifelike games where facial expressions are more important, like with motion capture, that they do in the movies? Or is it something else? We stated our opinions, but we want to hear yours. Jump into our Discord and give us some feedback at discord.gg/Guardian Down Roundtable and enter them in our feedback or show feedback questions channel. Or you can either send us a voicemail right from your phone or shoot us an email if you prefer the written word. Just go to GuardianDownCast.com and contact us. Thank you for listening to the show this week and every week, and a big shout out to our super fans, our Patreon community, like our Dungeon Champion patron, Deadpool1 Merc, and our Raid Boss patrons, Amazing Taco King, Jealous Gaming, and Frostbite. So for whatever game you're into these days, be sure to take breaks, hydrate, especially in this summer, and touch grass. Golden God, community member for over 5 years now, and a $3 tip jar patron for over 54 months. Thank you, sir.
The path to victory is long, but there's always hope. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening, and whether in life or in your game, get your reps in. And later, Guardian.
Overtime. Let's do this.
I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. It's a good show, man. Miklo, you were a joy to have on, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh, thank you. I was a bit nervous. I was like, oh my God, what do I say?
It's just
whatever you want.
I tell all of our guests this. I say it's just like we're hanging out in orbit in Destiny too.
Yeah.
Everybody always has really good you can have a podcast just from people hanging out in orbit, especially a fire team of 6. You can get some stories going. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So thank you.
Club.
Thank you, Base Windu. Thanks, brother. Miklo, you want to give anybody a shout out tonight before we head on out?
I'd like to shout out to my brother, my mom. They always keep me up, and shout out to all the people in all the communities, Guardian Hub, BBL, Space Mafia, the pub, all great people all around.
Nice, man. Kingsley Mack. Shout out to anybody?
Yeah, I definitely second that, but I also want to shout out you specifically, Miklo, for coming on. Thank you, man. And
thank you.
I definitely think we got to have you back as a normalish type possibility because it was easy to talk. We had a good time.
Absolutely, man.
Nice. Hell yeah, man. I'm down.
Get that camera rigged up. I want to get a face next time. Yeah. People like to see faces talking on the internet. At least that's what they tell me. Maybe not my face, but some faces. Anyway. Thanks, man. Again, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man. That was a good show.
Man. Thank you. I almost missed that message that when I saw it. I saw it like a week later. I was like, oh shit. Oh
no. I always give everybody a 1 week reminder that, hey, remember we set this up 3 or 4 months ago. Yeah, just letting you know your turn. It's your turn to play. Your turn to get the ball. And a lot of people are like, huh? Oh crap. That's this next week. I'm like, yeah. Yep. It's in my schedule. You're on the calendar. So yeah, we'll have to have you back, man. That'd be great. I'll put you on the list if you want to come back.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 1 week we can have both you and your brother on even.
Hey, you saying that? He was telling me yesterday, he's like, oh, ask him if I could be like a special surprise guest or whatnot.
Hey, anything goes, man. It's our show. We can do whatever we want, right? Well, thanks again, man. That was fun tonight. Thanks again. Yeah. My shout out is to Mr. Zombie Pops because he filled in last week and then the internet went to shit. Our whole Discord server went to crap and then, that was it. We had to cut the stream short. So Zombie Pops, I'm sure will be on in a future show. So thank you, brother, for filling in last week. And of course, to our live chat, whether you were in YouTube or Twitch or in our Discord, thank you for hanging out with us. It really means a lot. I know live shows are really tough to make. They're you can have someone with 100,000 followers on YouTube. And when you have a live show, like 40 people show up. It's just the way it is, man. Live shows are tough to make sometimes. So I appreciate everyone spending their time with us tonight, talking about topics and knowing more about Mr. Miklo here. So remember, whether in life or in your game, get your reps in. Later, Guardians.
Shout out to the girlfriend, too.
Don't forget that, man. Come on, man.
I need to remember, I don't need any more reps. I don't want your golden gun. I heard it's dirty.